product. That's a good TV game. In the Big Ten, you get away from those 5 or 6 at the top. Ohio State, Indiana is not a good game.
Well, even those big ones at the top. I mean, Iowa and Wisconsin aren't going to draw numbers.
No,
they're just not. And those are two of your two best programs.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's why them bringing Washington and Oregon in. Remember that was not the first part. It was USC, UCLA, and then Washington and Oregon seemed to fight their way in to get into the expansion. It made their league so much better to bring all 4 of those teams in because it's brand name football and helmets that makes the schedule and the TV partners happier. I got USC playing Ohio State instead of Indiana playing Ohio State. Just better TV product, and that's what it's all about to me. So Clemson, Florida State to the Big Ten, in my opinion.
Was it you that brought up the draft of getting Vanderbilt out for like a Florida State? Like, can you imagine if the Big Ten could get rid of some of their products?
Oh, yeah, to get rid of the Indiana, the Rutgers, which I think was a mistake.
Like, you really could come up with a 18-team conference combining. It'll never happen. The Big Ten and the SEC, and your games would be 5 stars every single game.
Every week. Like even in the NFL, I was about to say like the NFL.
But not so much. Jets in Jacksonville, does that do anything for you?
That's right. Anything in Arizona usually, not a good game.
Yeah, I mean, if you had USC and Auburn, or you had, Florida State and Penn State, I mean, you would have good games every single week.
Yeah. We will see what the SEC does with expansion in the future, whether Clemson and Florida State ends up being part of the plans or not down the road. But there you go. Scott Strickland saying yesterday at the SEC meetings that he does not have a veto. They do not have a veto or a blackball that would keep Florida State or any other Florida school from joining the league. It just comes down to a 3/4 vote.
I don't think they should. I think in the Big 12 days, I think Texas and Oklahoma could say what they wanted and probably get away with it. But in the SEC, I don't think it's fair to the conference for one team to have that type of voice.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep an eye on softball later this afternoon, basketball tonight. And then, of course, we're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you're wondering about Brown, follow us on our social media platforms at Next Round Live. Taylor Korn, Emily Grace McWhorter, and Brown were teaming up to put a video essay together of Brown actually on the road to Macon, delivering a package of Next Round gear that was bought in our Next Round store, nextround.store. He's making that delivery. That is the second place punishment from our bracket challenge today. So Brown is paying it off. 4-hour drive there, 4-hour drive back to make the delivery.
I can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm telling you, this is a massive game tonight in the NBA. Because if the T-Wolves win this game, the Mavericks have got issues going back Game 6.
I'm not sure they win it tonight, though. Mavericks should win this game.
Play up right now.
3-1. All right, that's the show. We're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget the Meltdown comes your way at 2 o'clock live today on this platform and on Disrupt the Media. Go look for the Meltdown icon. Click that. 2 o'clock. It's live every day. You can go back and watch the other shows. And don't forget everything else at War Damn Pods, the Village Vice, and, of course, Roll Tide Pods, where Mick and Jake have a new show up over there as well. Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker. It's Roll Tide Pods right there at Disrupt the Media. Go follow, like, and subscribe. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Monday as we get rolling here. LTD and B and all the folks behind the big glass there. Rockstar, Tyler, Lunsford, Forrester all back there. Taylor Korn handling everything social media, and the rest of the gang up here the next round as we go with another week. We get a little under the 90-day mark before you get to SEC football games, as Doug Layton used to say, Brownie.
If you don't think it's going to be here soon, just go take out a 90-day note. Be here before you know it.
About 82 days.
Pour one out for Doug.
Pour one out for Doug. 82 days away from week 0 coming up in college football. A lot to get to today, but we'll start talking money, big money. Give me a guesstimation on how much Nick Saban made in his entire 17-year career as the head coach at Alabama.
Well, it's interesting you bring this up because we had Greater Career last week with Clint Eastwood and Nick Saban, and people were like, well, if you look at Clint Eastwood's, his bank, and I'm like, well, he's 94. He's got 20-plus years on him. He's worth close to $500 million. I was estimating Saban was worth over $100 million now. I don't think it's there. I think people were saying it's like 70. But I will say that he made roughly,
I'm going to say 75.
You think Alabama only paid him $75 million in his time?
I was going to go $90 million.
It's going to be higher. They paid him $121 million during his time as coach at the University of Alabama, 17 years. I bring that up only to say that Justin Jefferson wakes up today. He's got $110 million guaranteed over the next 4 years. He's going to make a whopping $140 million over the next 4 years to play wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Nick Saban never had to go over the middle.
He did not. And much like Nick Saban, Justin Jefferson's probably the best at his craft. You can at least make the argument.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if 32 general managers could pick one wide receiver, I would say 30 or 32. There might be some that are in love with their guy, would take Justin Jefferson. Hey, look, there's a reason he's getting this money, and he's the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. I mean, the dude has averaged almost 99 yards per game in his career.
There's a real big, and I pointed this out to Dunaway, a real big reason he's getting this money.
Right.
The real big reason is they're about to have a quarterback on a rookie contract for 4 years. And if J.J. McCarthy can deliver, and he's about to throw to one of the best receivers in the game, he's got a lot of weapons around him, you got J.J. McCarthy for 4 years on a rookie contract, which allows you to pay a wide receiver this kind of money. Now, in that 5th year, when that rookie contract is about to come up and that 5th-year option's on the table, you're going to have to make some hard decisions. But you notice this is a 4-year contract, right?
Times out perfect. So Justin Jefferson and J.J. McCarthy will be coming up at the same time. And I'm assuming the Vikings are thinking Justin will not get that kind of money on the next contract.
Well, and you're also trying to sell Jefferson on, look, we believe in J.J. McCarthy, but he's an unproven product, didn't get a ton of reps in college. And if he sucks, your numbers might go down, but you're still going to make a lot of money.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, the best of these LSU wide receivers?
Yes. Jamar Chase, close number 2.
Yeah, I'd go Jefferson 1.
To
think that those two guys are on the same team.
Well, to think about Chase plays with Joe Burrow, who's an elite quarterback, and, Kirk Cousins has been good, but he's not elite.
That's right. Better quarterback there. But then here comes Malik Neighbors, who, if you believe the draft buzz, that Minnesota was willing to give up Justin Jefferson in a trade if they were able to get to Malik Neighbors.
That would
hard to believe.
Yeah, that is hard to believe. The problem with Malik Neighbors is, and I don't know how good the quarterback throwing to Justin Jefferson is. I mean, J.J. McCarthy is a complete unknown. I do know the quarterback throwing to Malik Neighbors, and that worries me for Malik Neighbors.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know.
And Malik Neighbors, I'm sure Minnesota would have done that because I think most people believe, if not the best receiver coming out in this draft behind Marvin Harrison Jr., he is the best receiver. But think about the dollars you would pay him a lot less than Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, Malik Neighbors is going to make a fraction of what he's going to make.
But you know what probably slowed Minnesota down on this was the Tennessee Titans because they thought the same exact thing about A.J. Brown.
Yep.
We can unload A.J. Brown, go find an A.J. Brown in the draft and pay him a lot less. And they tried to do that with Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. Was Treylon Burks A.J. Brown?
He was not.
I don't think he was.
No,
right?
but I do think Malik Neighbors coming out of college much more polished than Treylon
I
was.
don't disagree with you, but when you've got a known in the NFL, it is so hard to go away from it for the unknown. I mean, once you've got a guy that's established, like I don't think there's anybody that's like Justin Jefferson's overrated. Well, maybe some say he's overrated. I don't think anybody's like the guy can't play.
Yeah,
I mean, you may not think he's the best in the league, but you know he can play.
I don't know if anybody would say he's overrated.
They may not. So you've got a known there, and it is so hard to go away from a known when you've got it at any position in that league.
We'll get to the diamond in a second. Everything went on in softball and baseball this weekend, but I wanted to make one more point. If you think the money is good in the NFL, maybe too good, imagine not showing up for something that technically is volunteer, and you lose $750,000. $750,000.
Okay, so this is volunteer. You went heavy air quotes, clearly.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you're getting paid, if there's an endorsement for you to be there, if there's an incentive for you to be there, it's not really volunteer. You didn't have to be there, and Lamar Jackson chose not to be there, leaving $750,000 on the table. He didn't make it to the voluntary workouts for the Ravens. A clause in his contract pays him an extra $750,000 if he makes it to 80% of the off-season training workouts. He said, no big deal. You know why? Because his $260 million deal, much more important than just $750,000. Has enough money, like that little duck. What was the cartoon where the duck would swim in his money?
Oh, Scrooge McDuck.
DuckTales.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck. He'd dive into a pool of coins.
Hard coins.
Hard coins.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuff swimming in his money. He didn't have to show up for, what did I say?
Duff. You're talking about
Yeah, Hillary McDuff.
McGruff.
Yes. It's coming.
Don't do drugs,
It's coming to
kids.
the CW this year. So he didn't have to show up for the workout. $750,000.
Boy, that would be a nice problem to have.
Wouldn't it, though?
That's a
my
major
point.
first world problem.
Because you made it sound as if he's doing it to protect the $260 million. That's not really the case. He ain't going to get hurt at this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you were incorrect in saying that. I'm just saying the way you said that made it sound like I'm going to protect the $260 million by not putting myself in the $750,000.
I'm sure technically this was part of his $260 million contract.
Probably.
This was part of it. He just says, I'm making so much more money. I'm going to stay here at the beach or at the pool. I'm not going to show up for $750,000.
But in a weird way, that helps the franchise, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean he's getting the other money regardless.
Yeah, he's getting that money. I mean, they don't have to pay $750,000 just for a guy showing up to a practice. I mean, in a way, he's kind of helping. It kind of looks bad on the surface when you position it the way you did. But in a way, he's helping his franchise out. I mean, I'm sure Baltimore was happy not to write that $750,000 check.
Really interesting money time for Trevor Lawrence as well as we wrap up the money segment of the show in the National Football League. Reports from a lot of NFL insiders, including Mike Florio. He believes Trevor Lawrence is about to get a new deal. It will be bigger than Jared Goff's, but not as big as Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow makes $55 million a year. Jared Goff makes $53 million a year. Miss Kirkland taught me in kindergarten, 5-year-old kindergarten, that if it's something between 53 and 55, that's usually 54.
I mean, in most places, yes.
54.
He is one of the most durable quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he's really good. On the surface, doesn't deserve as much as Goff. Goff is much more accomplished. We're talking about a guy here who has won one postseason game in 3 years, but he's only missed one game due to injury.
He had to dig himself out of a hole to win that game where he'd thrown, what was it, 3?
Wasn't it 4 in the first half? Or was it
three or four in the first half. I forgot. They were down big. They ended up coming back. So as bad as the first half was.
That was more on the Chargers than it was Trevor Lawrence leading them back.
But as bad as the first half was, second half was that good. I like Trevor Lawrence. Is he worth this kind of money? I don't know. But what are you going to do if you're Jacksonville? You have to lock him up.
You're always as valuable as that much for the team. How much that team will pay you.
I don't know if I'm a Jacksonville fan. I think if I'm a Jacksonville fan, I feel like what I always say is I got a guy that's good enough. I don't want to give him up, but I am not sold right now he can win me a Super Bowl. If you're a Jacksonville fan, are you sold Trevor Lawrence can win you a Super Bowl?
I think if you've got he's not a guy that's going to be able to go out there like Tom Brady with New England and doesn't have necessarily a great support cast.
Daniel's right. He's digging out of the Urban Meyer rookie season.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a wasted year.
Yeah, it was not great.
Well, I mean, the numbers the last two seasons, and 2022 is obviously better when they go to the postseason and they win a game, and everybody thought coming back last year that they were by far your favorite to win the AFC South, and what happens? They do AFC South things, and
That's right.
Houston comes out of nowhere. I do think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl, but you've got to have the right parts around it.
You do. And Doug Peterson's a good quarterback's coach. That's who helped him dig out of that Urban Meyer hole. Doug Peterson knows what he's doing on the offensive side. So, I don't know, man. If I'm a Jacksonville fan, I feel like I've got a good enough quarterback. I definitely don't want to give him up. But I don't know that I feel like he could take me to a Super Bowl.
So a little NFL money to start off. We'll get to the diamond after LT tells us about our friends at Lanyas Furniture.
Lanyas Furniture back right here with us on the next round. We've known these guys for over 2 decades, and they've been great supporters here of the next round. At Lanyas Furniture, they believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, as well as mattresses. Lanyas can also help with your home design and decorating. They've got a 3-week event coming up, store-wide savings driven by hot buys with price and products to play on the summer theme. Transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Lanyas has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Lanyas Furniture. Save up to 10% off store-wide or special financing, plus tons of hot buys throughout the store. You can also get $300 in Lanyas sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and special financing is available. From Birmingham, take exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.31 miles. Lanyas right there on your right. 205-647-4311 for more information. Our very own Little T went out to Lanyas with roommates this past Saturday to couch shop. So make sure you tell them the next round sent you out there.
The 2 things I bought from Lanyas over the years last forever. Always so durable. Appreciate them. Speaking of durable, the sporting team that captured the hearts of America from right here in Birmingham had this moment back on Saturday, Rockstar.
Blast it to left! Are you kidding? Are you kidding? And do you believe?
That's Jackson Webster, walk-off home run to give Birmingham Southern a win in the Division III World Series after they had lost their opener. The story ended yesterday with a loss, but they got that big moment and that win at the Division III World Series, and they lasted 2 days longer than the school they were playing for did.
Yeah, well, it's too unbelievable for them to close the deal and win a World Series, right? I mean, this story is going to be incredible if the documentary crew who was on site does it the right way. I think it's going to be a fun watch. I just wonder, all of the Birmingham Southern backers that were jumping up and down on the dugout, are they still like sophomores, juniors? Where do they all go to school?
It's a great question. I don't know.
I know people who have kids who are playing on that Birmingham Southern team through our church group. By the way, Jackson Webster from Chelsea, who hit that home run.
Wow, local kid.
Yeah. Probably was in the same school with Anna Kate at the same time. I don't know if the same class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they were in the hallways together at some point. But they're trying to petition the NCAA that if this was if they only got 1 year of eligibility left, to add another year to that, because they'd be more likely to be signed by somebody else if they have multiple years of eligibility.
Oh, I see. So school closing basically would be like the waiver they would use to get an extra year. Because if I've got 2 years, I'm more valuable to some other school. That makes sense.
I don't know if the NCAA will go for that or not, but if Lance Taylor is leaving Birmingham Southern and only has 1 year left, I'm less likely to maybe choose you than someone else who has 2, 3, 4 years left.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if they're a good enough player, I mean, you only get 11.7 scholarships anyway. I don't even know if that level what Birmingham Southern got.
I don't think it's any scholarship. D3 is non-scholarship.
Yeah, it's not scholarship. And I had heard that Jan Wiesberg, the head coach, was sticking around to try to get all those guys placed. That was like his goal. I don't know that he's got another job right now. He may retire. I don't know what his age is.
He's been doing that since the announcement. He's been trying to shuffle people to future schools, and some of them already have places. And obviously some talent there, and you hope they end up either at other D3 schools or maybe at a D2 school.
I think you two are going to answer this differently. If you're the Netflix crew, and you're if indeed it's going to be on Netflix, and you're just putting together this documentary, what is the better ending for you? A walk-off loss like they had yesterday, or winning it all?
I think it's better with the loss. More dramatic.
It's tough. Again, I think it would be too unbelievable. People would be like, how did they make this documentary
Yeah.
out? How did they play this out like in real time? It would be almost unbelievable. Probably better in a loss, because then maybe you follow up where coach and players end up going.
Yeah.
I thought you would say loss and you would say win because
No.
you're like the rom-com guy. And the rom-com, they win the game.
No, but see, you had everything you needed right there.
Yeah.
The walk-off win on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And then you think, it's happening.
Yeah, this is the team of destiny.
And then you get the walk-off loss yesterday, and it's devastation. So you have both extreme emotions there.
You're definitely going to get the video of Jan Wiesberg hand on one guy's shoulder trying to thank this team for this run and not being able to get through the speech.
That's right.
That's 100% going to be in a documentary somewhere.
But if you had, like, they pay people to screen television shows and movies and what they like and dislike, if that was the ending and they got beat, everybody be like, we wanted them to win the championship.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, I mean, it's far from the most important thing, but it's the kind of stupid stuff I think about. I was like, what is the better Netflix ending? Them winning it all or them losing in heartbreaking fashion?
Jackson goes on to Montevallo to finish up his career, blah, 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 blah. So-and-so goes out here, and for Jan Weisberg, he's sitting on his boat fishing and says, I never wanted to coach again after that team.
But if Milan High School loses a buzzer beater, Hoosiers is never made.
I don't know. Could be just as good a movie.
I don't think so. No, there's no way it's as good a movie.
It's almost
I don't know. That was a hell of a run.
Almost unrealistic to win.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, when I saw it, I never believed it.
You didn't. Well, I mean, they altered the actual game.
I was like, looking at these teams, I'm going to lay 21.5.
I guess what you get a loss.
Johnson RV Center bringing you this. We'll get to what else happened in the SEC in baseball and the SEC in women's softball after Brownie tells us about Johnson RV.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator. They have repriced both of those lots, and they are so confident in their pricing that they've given you a nationwide price guarantee. You bring them a price on a comparable RV anywhere in the nation, they will beat it at Johnston RV Center. Also, RV warranty forever. Make sure you've got that lifetime warranty on everything new and qualifying used. You can see more at either lot, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, and always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. There was a documentary. Verno tipped me off on this, and I think it won one of the awards.
Fistful of Quarters?
No, that one was very good. The King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. But it was the one in Memphis. Defeated.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy goes and coaches the inner city team.
It's almost unbelievable, too.
It really is. And I don't want to give it away because if you've never watched it, it is
great.
fantastic. Yeah. But that ending was not the storybook ending either. And it created some really cool moments at the end of that documentary, especially when he's trying to talk to the player and he can't get through it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that chokes me up every time.
That's why I chose that one to start with. Daniel says Friday Night Lights was made. They lost that game in the state championship. Brian says Rocky lost in his first match.
Hey, Brian's song, not to give it away, doesn't end well.
Doesn't end the way you wanted it to end, not at all. All right, to softball, and then we'll backtrack into SEC baseball with some teams trying to advance later today. For Alabama softball, they end yesterday with a loss to Florida 6-4. Jocelyn Erickson was the bat for Florida, RBI early, and then a 3-run homer in the 6th inning. 4 RBIs in the game. Florida wins it 6-4. Erickson transferred into Florida from where? You just had to guess in softball terms. To be really good.
Alabama.
No, you came in from Oklahoma. She played for Oklahoma's World Series championship team the year before. Was mostly a designated hitter at times. She came in and she was there at Florida and has 4 home runs in the World Series while her former Oklahoma teammates are dominating again as well. So Florida eliminates Alabama. I think bringing Forrester's microphone here, the rain delay pushed it out of my window to watch it, so I was on the golf course because they were supposed to go at 2, and I'd planned for a 4 o'clock tee time. So I'm out on the golf course when they finally start at 5. You're telling me some questionable moves there by Murph, or at least head scratchers when he makes a pitching change a couple of times in the game. Forrester, you're a softball dad. Tell me about your thoughts on that.
Oh, first off, I love Murph. Big fan. He did a couple of things yesterday that a lot of people are questioning. Caleb Beaver started the game through, I don't know, 4.5 innings.
She pitched, yeah. I mean, I guess she officially was 4 innings.
4 innings, but they were starting to knock her around a bit. And Forrester, you know that once they get you timed up, if they've seen you a lot, these are conference foes. maybe you got to bring it from a different direction or a different spin or different speed or something, right? So I guess that's why I made that move.
Yeah, they started to time her up a little bit. So he brings in Brisky. She goes, I don't know, inning and a third maybe. And they're hitting it pretty well off of her too.
Well, I'll say this, though, for her. The only thing I tuned in the fifth inning, and she got in a lot of trouble, and it seemed like the behind-the-plate umpire was really squeezing her. Like that zone was really tight. And I thought to only give up one run in the fifth, I thought Alabama still had a fighting shot. Now, when they hit that 2-run bomb, I checked out because pretty much knew it was over. But I give Brisky in that pressure situation. She's a freshman, right?
Yes.
I mean, she pitched well, I thought.
Yeah, if I'm going to criticize anything, I think he should have stuck with the freshman, not gone back to Beaver because they were drilling it off.
I feel like everything this guy does, though, is getting magnified because there are people that want him fired.
Which makes no sense to me because this team wasn't good enough to be playing with only 6 teams left at the Women's World Series. And I don't think they were good enough last year offensively. They relied on Montana Fouts so much to be in the Women's World Series last year. He's been to back-to-back Women's World Series. Only 8 teams make it out there.
Yeah, they overachieved this year. But, I've got a friend that's also a Dodger fan, and he said Murphy reminds me of Dave Roberts. He's got 1 championship, but there's a lot of meat left on the bone. I think there's a lot of Alabama fans that believe that. I mean, he's a victim of his own success.
You think if Nick Saban had hung around long enough?
If Nick Saban would have been in the college football playoff or BCS game and only had one like Bob Stoops, Alabama,
I'm not going to say he'd get fired, but he'd get criticized.
Oh, yeah.
But just imagine, okay, last year they get eliminated, 21, 22, 23, gone 3 years now. Longest time in Saban's time without a national championship. Coming in 24, they make the playoffs, they don't win it again. Would we have started hearing criticism about Saban?
Yeah.
Because I remember wasn't Bear Bryant in the late 60s into 71 starting to hear criticism?
He had already won 3, right?
At the time. I remember when Bob Stoops, before he retired, and Lincoln Riley took that job. I remember Oklahoma fans were kind of critical of Bob Stoops.
Yeah, he got tired of Mac Brown in Texas. He had won 1-5 and played for 1-9, and very quickly Mac Brown was out at Texas.
So how many trips to Oklahoma City does
15?
15. I mean, if Nick Saban had been in 15 college football playoffs and won 1 national championship, he get a ton of criticism.
It's obviously tough to win these things, but you get there 15 times.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's won 6 of the last 9, maybe, something like that. They're a force. And by the way, they're coming into the SEC.
I mean, Bobby Cox is the good comparison there by Landmine Believer. He got criticized a ton. Now, I don't know that any Braves fan wanted Bobby Cox fired, but he went to 6 World Series, right, and won 1?
Yeah, 17 straight division titles?
Yeah, and they had 1 World Championship to show for it.
Rockstar, give me cut number 4. Here is Patrick Murphy after the loss. We're not going to show you all the tears from the players who obviously emotional as their career comes to an end. But here's Patrick Murphy, the head coach, on just putting this season into a nutshell.
I just told the team, I tried to think of a good analogy for this group. And, when you watch a show or a TV show, and probably a lot of you have seen Lucille Ball. Maybe not. Maybe nobody has seen it. But there's a scene where they're crushing grapes and they're trying to make wine. And they get to the bottom of the barrel and they have all these grapes they're done. And they have got every single ounce of juice out of those grapes. And that's it. And that is this team. They squeezed every single ounce of being a great teammate, being great leaders, being great reps of the University of Alabama, worked their butts off, and they got here beyond anything that I could ever imagine. And it's been one of the most enjoyable teams to coach in my career.
You almost heard the same thing from Nick Saban after last year's loss to Michigan, that this team almost surprised him where it ended up going to lose to Michigan at the Rose Bowl.
It surprised me, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, that one play away, they win that game. They beat Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, they win another national championship.
But he didn't seem like it was, and that ended up being his last game. It did not seem like he was overly devastated by that loss, because I think in his mind,
They overachieved.
We got where we didn't think. We sort of got that from Murphy yesterday. Florida still alive from the SEC. After that win, they get the powerhouse Oklahoma, who's going for a first-ever four-peat. They play at 11 a.m. today on ESPN. If Florida were to upset Oklahoma, they'd have to beat them again at 2:30. So odds are not good that Florida knocks off Oklahoma twice before sunset. Tonight, Texas, future SEC team, takes on Stanford, likely the end of the road for the Pac-12.
This is the last team that got alive in anything?
No, baseball.
baseball.
Still alive. Baseball's
that's right,
still alive.
yeah.
But Texas and Stanford, 6 p.m. on ESPN2 tonight. If Stanford were to win the first one, they'd play another one at 8:30, and Stanford would have to beat them twice to advance, likely heading to an Oklahoma-Texas National Championship Series starting tomorrow. So that's softball out there. We'll get to baseball coming up in the other segment. But a big announcement on the show here. Brownie has paid off his bracket challenge bet.
Yep.
Mine is coming up. We're going to do best and worst of the weekend in the next segment, but I'm going to let LT sort of tee it up here. I don't know if it was your best or your worst. We'll have video from this later on. But where'd you end up yesterday?
Okay, so I was supposed to go to the lake with friends on Saturday.
Oh, weather sucked.
Yeah, and I told them when I got up Saturday morning, I was like, let's figure this out. So got up Saturday morning. Got a call from our friend Herb Winches down at the landing. He's
Hello
like,
again, everybody.
He was like, it's going to be shaky, LT. So when he told me that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to punt. So we ended up not going. So we go to a local establishment to have lunch. And I was like, let's see if there's any concerts in the area. So I just was looking around, and I saw Comic-Con was in Birmingham.
Oh, heck yeah.
And so it was going to be all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So we had other plans later Saturday. So I was like, you know what, we'll go down Sunday. I sent little T a text, and I was like, do you want to go down there with me and get some sound, some content? I reached out to Tyler Lunsford and Melton because this blew me away. In all of the years of Comic-Con, what are the chances that none of those guys have ever been?
I'd be very low. I'd go very low on that
My
one, yeah.
daughter usually goes. She did not go this year.
Yeah, well, none of the three have ever been.
That surprises me.
I decided to go down yesterday. Little T had to go get a couch, so she was unable to go, but she met up with me, gave me equipment, went down there, and boy, it's another world.
Yeah, I would tell you when my daughter goes, the Atlanta one is bigger than the Birmingham one.
This one was big, though.
Was it the Atlanta one every year right around that kickoff game that Alabama was in a lot? And people were like, you had like Alabama fans in the Alabama gear and somebody dressed up as a cat.
Yeah, you had that, and there was another big event that went on that weekend.
There was, when we got there, so I was getting people as they were going out, and then we ultimately went into the venue. And there's just like a Pokemon sitting on a bench by itself with the head.
As one does.
That's a sad look.
And I saw these three dudes that were staring at me. And I thought, because Maddie was a little nervous. She worked the camera. She was a little nervous because she's a nerd. She's a big Star Wars person. You'll see my gear that I borrowed from her to wear to go down there.
Can't wait.
But she was like, you don't need to be mean to these people. I'm not being mean. This is the same thing we did at Talladega.
Yes,
We're just
man on the
getting
street.
some sound.
Yeah.
And she told me in Los Angeles, it's 10 times as big, their Comic-Con.
That's the biggest one in the world, I think.
I think it's San Diego. It was massive, though.
This
In
is where
Birmingham?
Yeah.
This is where the one in San Diego or LA, whichever one in Southern California, that's where they'll send, like, if a Marvel movie is coming out, the stars of that will go and do Q&As and things like that.
So I think Darth Maul was there yesterday, the guy that played him. Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
So just to give a little tease, I talked to a guy that's a full-time knight. He was a squire first, so he goes through all his body armor. There's a guy that sells lightsabers all across the country. People battle them. He explains that. So a lot of good stuff. There's a Ghostbusters organization in Alabama where they all dress up.
Right.
Holy crap.
We're going to do it now. Is this just a still photo of Comic-Con here in Birmingham over the weekend? We'll get to that story coming up later on when the video's ready to roll. We'll get to that story, and LT can reset it up for you and all that. Show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports. Precision Sports medicine and orthopedics, man. No pain in my body today thanks to Dr. Patterson and the fine folks at Precision. Appreciate them so much. If you ever tweaked, pulled, or done anything that has been devastating to your health, they will help diagnose it, treat it, and get you back to work, whether you tweak it playing pickleball, pull a muscle working in the lawn, or pick up games of basketball. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com. Orthopedic care better together. Schedule an appointment today. Locations from Jasper to Alabaster and everywhere in between. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas, the biggest surprise, getting eliminated by Southeast Missouri State. Those teams are out in SEC baseball. Tennessee, Kentucky, A&M, and Georgia have already advanced to Super Regional, so they're still alive. Today, Oklahoma State and Florida, North Carolina and LSU. Winners move on to the Super Regionals, to a couple of SEC teams trying to join 4 other SEC teams that are still alive in the NCAA baseball tournament. Best and worst of the weekend being brought to you by our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, call them today. Make sure that AC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. I think we've got more rain in the forecast, but I think it is going to pop close to 90 coming up this weekend. 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services for more information. HemphillServices.com.
I would tell you that a conversation Lance had with Kristen Sabin is being anticipated by everyone. It will drop today at 12 noon. I'll let him tease ahead to that coming up in a little bit. But Kristen Sabin, this is a little snippet from that interview. You see LT talking to her right here on our green room couch. In-depth conversation that included LT talking to her about how she found out her dad was retiring from Alabama.
Did you know it was coming? You can be transparent.
Yeah, I mean, so that morning I kind of got like a little heads up, like, you know, it's been like every year we treat every year, especially like the last 5-10 years of, you know, he might, because he's talked about it before, and, you know, like maybe about 5 years ago he was like, oh, this might be the year. And then it wasn't. And 5 years later, he keeps going. So we kind of treat it every year like it could be the last. But it just kind of felt different this past season. And so that morning, my mom was like, maybe, maybe not, but just don't be surprised if you see something. And later that afternoon, I was on a plane to Orlando with my son to go to Disney World. And I just bought like the Southwest Wi-Fi. And my phone is just blowing up. And I'm like,
I can only imagine.
I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And a friend of mine who works with Tuscaloosa News texted me and said, hey, can you confirm this for me, Chris Lowe's tweet? Because Chris is great and everything that comes from his is going to be the real deal. And I said, what do you mean what's Chris's tweet? And I pulled up Instagram and it was like the first article I saw was retiring. And so I'm on the plane. I can't text anybody. I can't call anybody. And so I'm like, okay, are you doing this? Am I finding out on Instagram on my way to Disney World? So that's how I found out.
Wow. That is very interesting. Tell me about the conversation that will drop today at 12 noon.
We got into some different things. Again, she was really laid back, cool. We talk how difficult it is in the magnifying glass that she's under, being Nick Saban's daughter, just living day to day. That comes up. We also talk a little Mal Moore, when he was camping out in the driveway. She goes into that story a little bit.
How old was she then?
She was a sophomore in high school.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and we talk about how difficult it is to be. Can you imagine being a female and get uprooted from your high school?
It's sophomore year.
Yeah,
and moving go from Miami to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, so we get into that and parenting. Different stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
Drops right after the show, right?
The news conference. She brought a friend with her, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah,
a classmate who flew up with her from Miami, a high school classmate who came with them up for the news conference. And I kept thinking to myself, God, it must suck because I went K through 12 at my high school.
Yeah.
Though there have been times in my life I'd love to restart and go somewhere nobody knew who I was and I could be a different person, right? I could go somewhere and not be the emotional guy who used to have a bad temper and this, all of that stuff. It's just a fresh start. But when you're a sophomore girl, I can't imagine.
And it's shock to the system, again, coming from Miami to Tuscaloosa, but she goes from a graduating class of 500 to a graduating class at Tuscaloosa Academy of 34.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Well, like when my daughter was my oldest, who's now graduated high school and is in college, when she was one more year left in elementary school, we moved to the neighborhood we live in now. Same system, but it was a different elementary school. And to avoid just pulling her out that one year, we illegally drove her all year to the school she wasn't supposed to be going to.
Yeah.
Because we knew the people that went in the house after the house we left, they didn't have a kid. So they weren't going to register a kid under that address. So we were just able to keep that address.
You may still get some PTA emails or PTA mails in the box. Yeah, just let us know. We'll come pick them up.
And so we drove her illegally to that school just to keep from pulling her out of one elementary school into another. I can't imagine having to uproot move, that type of move.
Yeah. To show you, and this is Kevin, and I love Kevin to death. He and I were going back and forth in the commercial break about Murphy retiring. And he was talking about players who had left, like Kilfoyle, who was the pitcher at Oklahoma State. Well, she left because Montana Fouts was hanging around, had even an extra year. Her playing time was at Oklahoma State, led them to the Women's World Series a couple of years. Can't fault her leaving Alabama there, and we were talking about that. And I said, now do Saban, the players that left Saban and went somewhere else, like Jalen Hurts. And he comes back to show you where fans are sometimes. And comparing him to Murphy, Saban was losing his fastball too. I said that for the last several years. It didn't bother me that he retired. I respect and appreciate everything he has done, but sometimes, especially after that long, change is not a bad thing. And you guys have seen before. I mean, Kalen DeBoer is a great hire. I mean, that's all you can do is go hire the best available candidate, and they have done that. But change, when you make a change, oftentimes it is not what it once was, right?
Oh, right.
I mean, look at what Tennessee did after Phil Fulmer.
Yeah, this isn't Bobby Bowden or Joe Paterno. This was Nick Saban still had his fastball. Say what you want. Right now, Alabama is 14-15-1 to win a national championship under Kalen DeBoer. I think if Saban was coming back, I think they would be maybe number 2, Georgia, Alabama, then Ohio State.
Yeah.
But now that you have that change, people, it's kind of an unknown.
Brett McMurphy has updated odds, Browns, and then I'll give you the chance to follow up there. But Brett McMurphy today, odds to win the national championship, No surprise that Georgia is going to be your betting favorite there, right? Georgia's your betting favorite. After that, you mentioned Ohio State and others down the line there. Alabama is further down than you would expect them to be. And I think that's the reason why where they are. It's not the roster. If the coach was the same, the expectations would be different than they are this year. Though I think Greg Byrne did as good as you possibly could do on paper, right? Hiring Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the guy's done nothing but win everywhere he's been.
There's those odds I was talking about. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, then Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, and down the list there. New odds out from Brett McMurphy. Now, you were about to say something after LT.
Well, I was going to say, if losing your fastball, quote-unquote losing your fastball, is out-coaching Kirby Smart in the SEC championship game and going to overtime with the national champion, and probably should have won that, or could have won that game. I don't say Alabama should have won that game, but easily
did not play their best football.
Didn't play their best football. And, I think you got to give Michigan credit for that, too. Michigan's defense was incredible.
Incredible. Year before that, they missed playoffs, Brown, because they lost 2 games on the final drive and 1 in overtime, right?
Yes. Yeah. I was it to the level it had been? No. Was he losing his fastball? I think that's an overstatement on Nick Saban. I still think the guy had his fastball. And again, if he was back this year, I mean, Alabama would probably be right there with Georgia.
And then there's Dabo Swinney, cut 8 rock star. Losing fastball or not?
I'll tell you this. Back to the On-3 event last Tuesday, we were in Nashville, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm talking to a parent of a really, really highly sought-after player. And I was like, we were just talking school to school. And I was like, Clemson? He's like, we ain't about Dabo.
We ain't about Dabo.
That was the quote.
That was the quote.
I don't know if losing his fastball is fair. I think he has taken a strategy that is counter to everything else just about every successful coach is doing. And we are currently in a test period to see if his strategy is the best strategy or every other successful coach in America's strategy is the best strategy. And right now, it looks like every other successful coach in America is having the best strategy.
Well, they went from an elite program, and look, they still have success, but it's a boring product. Like, there's no sizzle to this product the last 4 or 5 years.
Braden Jacobs is on an official visit at Clemson.
Okay. Is he good?
I think he is. I think he is a running back. No, that was Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah, that ain't a
running back.
Yeah, you look up Braden Jacobs and tell me who he is. He's on an official visit, and I have not seen this yet. Forrester, you described this. What word did you use? One word description?
I think I said it was kind of terrible.
Kind of terrible.
I think cringe.
Yeah.
Do you want a cringe soundbite?
Terrible.
4-star.
It all works.
4-star offensive tackle here is who we're talking about.
4-star offensive tackle. He's on an official visit, and Forrester said he had to shake his head when he saw this.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Braden Jacobs checking in at Clemson's official visit weekend with my best friend and head coach, Dabo Swinney.
Hey, and I'm Coach Dabo Swinney, Clemson football, hanging out with
Braden Jacobs.
The best. 5-star. You 5-star? You're 5-star in my book.
I should be a 5-star.
You're a 10-star. 10-star in my book. What do you think? You ever seen a bedazzled football?
I've never seen a bedazzled football. First one.
Hey, and we got another. Well, he's on the other side. So
yeah, well,
is it okay to be in your?
Still going
Is it okay for Lauren to be in your video?
Still going to Clemson.
You be in the video? Yeah. A lot of battles between these two one day. A lot of battles.
Always be the best place to go.
Go Tigers.
Now I know why you and Dabo get along so well.
He couldn't even do his name. And I'm Dabo Swinney?
What is up with the bedazzled football?
I really do not know. There was not a whole lot of rehearsal. I don't think they ran through that before the camera roll.
A 10-second video. Let's just stretch. Just keep moving.
It's touch cringy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's not dancing. He's not dancing with a 5-star quarterback though, like Brian Kelly did.
He did not.
Look,
not grinding.
He's not climbing a tree like Jim Harbaugh. There's some awkward stuff that goes on.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Saban danced with parents at parties.
That was awkward.
Yeah. I mean, it's recruiting. It's what you have to do to, I guess, win over 17 and 18-year-olds. Yep. It should actually get easier now, right? Because now you just pay them.
You just pay them. Yeah.
You just pay them. You don't.
They shouldn't care. I don't have to be your friend. You're making a lot of money.
Listen, We got a business relationship. I'm here to win games. You're here to make money.
You know what? It's funny. One of the parents I was talking to, he said the most important thing for them, he was like, it's not about the first contract, which is basically the first contract now, NIL.
Yeah, exactly.
It is about getting to the next level, but it's also about we want stability with the coach. That is the most important thing for us. So when we're searching, we want to make sure a guy is there 3 years. So guess who their guy is? I mean, like if you were thinking about most stable situation in college football outside of Kirby Smart.
Oh, okay.
Outside of Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I'd go Sark.
See, I think it's Marcus Freeman.
Ooh, I would not say. No.
I think it is.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I think the people really, the recruits like Marcus Freeman from what I've heard. But
remember, I think, Brownie, he was part of Luke Fickell's Cincinnati staff.
He was.
I think he was.
Defense
Yeah.
coordinator.
Was their biggest recruiter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Marcus Freeman is going to be a superstar. Now, whether or not he can get it done at Notre Dame, who knows? I think they will consistently be in the college football playoff.
And did he play at Ohio State?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's
good-looking dude, knows how to talk to the recruits.
No. He's got everything going
Stays
for him.
in shape.
Parents love him. I mean, unless you got a disastrous like back-to-back 6-6, that guy's safe.
I'm just saying he's 19-8 right now.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying. It's 19-8, and they've got a super favorable schedule this year. If he doesn't deliver on that schedule, I do think there'll be some questions being asked. I'm going to say he gets fired.
I think his win percentage is pretty close to Sarkisian's, is it not?
19-8.
Yeah, but it should be in the playoffs this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think anything less than a playoff bid will be a major disappointment.
Well, that's good. Now, they can't be a top 4 seed.
That's right.
So
by rule.
But that schedule should have them as a top 4 seed.
Yeah, they're going to start as a top 10.
If they were eligible.
Yeah, but they should be 10-2 with that schedule.
Should be 10-2 and
Should be in the
10-2
playoffs.
gets them in, yeah.
Should be in the playoffs. Speaking of Notre Dame, Tyler Buckner, fresh off of winning the lacrosse championship, says on Friday after our show, he's going to play one more year of football as a walk-on at Notre Dame. Not at quarterback. He's going to be wide receiver. So Tyler Buckner, one more year.
What a weird schedule.
Is going to be at wide receiver. Back, and could be an emergency quarterback if Riley Leonard went down.
I say this, man. He's a hell of an athlete.
It's a weird career arc he's got going.
Michelson Laser Vision bringing you this part of the show. We will get to our 40 and 40 team coming up in the next segment at number 28 in our 40 and 40 countdown. Tell us about Michelson.
It has been almost 21 years ago that I got the procedure done. One of the best things I did when I was in radio was going to see Dr. Mark Michelson, best in the business, pioneer in the business, first to perform LASIK in the state of Alabama back in 1995. Do this. Make the phone call if you wear contacts or glasses, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. She is going to schedule you with a hassle-free consultation, zero to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Again, got the procedure done 21 years ago. Still have 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Jen Michelson, Dr. Mark Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the next round. Really interesting, our Rhett Lashley conversation back on Friday with our 40 and 40 team, SMU. You can get that wherever you get our podcast, right there at Apple or Spotify, or always on YouTube. Rhett Lashley, very entertaining guy. There's a little Alabama flavor when it comes to SMU right now. If you're following recruiting, crystal ball change yesterday for 24/7. Keelan Russell from Duncanville, Texas, 4-star quarterback, SMU verbal for the 2025 class, now being crystal ball to Alabama.
Oh.
So I wonder if Rhett Lashley knew that when he was on the show on Friday.
So what have you told him?
Show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Really a great place. I mean, if you're a young couple right now, like most of our viewing audience is, the place to really call home.
Oh, and so affordable and just a beautiful place. You guys play golf out there over a month ago. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that will fit everyone, the social membership, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Maybe you relocated or retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Child care is such a plus. Mom is running all over the place. Give her a breather. She can drop the kid pretty much every day up there. You've got, she can play tennis. She can work from the club. You can do the same. You can take a day on the course with your wife. Child care right there on location at Inverness Country Club. The best days happen in Inverness. Take the tour today of this unbelievable club. Call Erin. Make sure you tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
All right, so when you get an endorsement from someone else, a little vote of confidence, usually you're pretty appreciative of that, right?
Most of the time, when it's athletic director and head coach at the end of a season, it always feels like I've just been put on the hot seat, but I guess I get to keep my job, so that's the plus.
Yeah, well, Billy Napier's on a hot seat, right?
Zero doubt about that.
He's on a hot seat. What former coach in the SEC would you not want an endorsement from?
Dan Mullen.
Former coach,
yeah.
Chad
Dan
Morris.
Mullen would have been a good one. Chad Morris would be probably the ultimate one.
Number one.
Somewhere in between Chad Morris and Dan Mullen, you get this guy right here. Brian Harsin. Quoting Billy Napier, I'm comfortable with my action. Harsin writes, Coach Napier has always handled himself with class. He's a winner. 40-12 at his last program. He's following 10 years of fired coaches and is working to build some consistency with Florida. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. Brian Harsin. Good for Billy Napier, not good for Billy Napier. Doesn't matter.
Probably doesn't matter, but that is the guy you probably don't want endorsing you. Talking to a Florida fan recently, he said, look, I want to give Billy Napier more time. It shouldn't just be all about this season. But the problem is Billy Napier's got an ego. And you've got an ego and you act the part, but it doesn't translate to wins. That becomes a problem.
Yeah, I sort of think Billy Napier deserves another year or two.
like beyond this year, no matter what happens this year?
I just want to see if they're competitive and they go 5-7. I think I would keep him.
Yeah, there is a lot of problems when you get on that coaching carousel
it's hard to get off.
Over and over again.
Now, we kind of alluded to this last week talking about Alex Golesh in South Florida. I mean, if they win 10 games and their offense is dominant and you can get a Golesh, it also depends on who you can get. If you're like,
if there's an obvious guy,
there's nobody out there, we'll give him another year. But if there is an obvious guy and he has a disaster season, I've got no problem with it.
So you're of the philosophy that you're okay as an athletic director shopping the job behind everyone's back before you fire it.
I think you have to.
I'd like to know who I could get before I make a move. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can get Alex Golesh.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got to be. I could just be trading one mid-major coach for another mid-major coach. Can't win in my program with Alex Golesh.
Yeah,
Billy Napier was Alex Golesh when they hired him.
His resume was terrific.
Yeah,
it was 40-12.
Yeah,
at Louisiana, did a great job there. I don't know with this schedule. I just don't know what a fair expectation.
I really
is.
don't either. That's the
problem.
problem.
If they got to a bowl game, I'd be like coach of the year, maybe.
Exactly, heck of a job. Staying power not a problem for our team at number 28. Brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag promo code next round brownie. They bring us our 40 and 40 countdown every day.
Yeah, maybe you've been in that group. You got that casino trip planned. Something falls apart. Last minute, can't go. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino can change the game for you. Truly realistic casino experience featuring the absolute latest in slots, progressive jackpots, live dealer action, and it's all playable in the comfort of your own home. A Las Vegas experience in your living room. Start at MyBookie today and get that generous sign-up bonus. MyBookie.ag code next round. That gets you the sign-up bonus. Code next round does. And they've got a revamped loyalty program, exclusive VIP perks. The more you play, the more you win. MyBookie.ag code next round.
Okay, let's see who's at number 28. Forrester, woo, here comes the Iowa Hawkeyes. 28 points per game at their slot at 28 would be a big upgrade, right? They take 28 points a game. Iowa comes in, by the way, they finished in the top 25 4 of their last 5 years at Iowa. They're a top 25 program. We slot them in at number 28.
Well, I think we've got them too low the more I look at this, and I had them about in this neighborhood. Should have had them higher. I think Iowa is kind of primed for a special season if Cade McNamara can come back from that ACL injury. And you've got Tim Lester coming in as the new offense coordinator. The
Cannot
offense,
get worse.
Yeah, it's going to be at least a touchdown better. I think it will be 10-plus points better. They averaged 15 points per game last year. They won 10 games. Kirk Ferentz, in year 26, you mentioned 4 of the last 5 years. In 4 of the last 5 full seasons, they've won 10 or more games.
Yeah, I should say 5 of the last 6 seasons they finished in the top 25, not 4 of the last 5, though that is true as well.
Now, the disturbing thing is you look back last year, they played 3 ranked teams. They were 0-3, and they were outscored 92-0.
92 to what?
Nothing. So they weren't even close against ranked teams.
You know how you can't beat anybody?
Never
scoring
scored.
Nothing.
Yeah, and you look at this and you're like, well, they no longer have the benefit of the Big Ten West schedule.
Correct.
But they do miss USC, Oregon, and Michigan. So schedule's favorable. I think they could be favored as many as 9 to 10 games this year. I think Iowa has got a good shot at winning 9 or 10 again this year.
Yeah. Good for the Hawkeyes there. Iowa coming in. Brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. There you see their schedule starting with Illinois State, Iowa State in the rivalry game, always that early season rivalry game that is so good. Then a tricky game with Troy, road games, that Washington game, Wisconsin at home, and then you end with Nebraska that could be for a lot of things at the end of the season for 2 football programs that have already showed up in our 40 and 40 countdown, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie.
Don't forget all those games Lance talking about right there, whether they're favorite 9 or 10 games, play them all right there at MyBookie.ag when the season rolls around. NBA Finals are there, Major League Baseball is there. MyBookie.ag code next round.
When we come back, Tom Luginbill joins the show. Lugs will talk to us about everything going on in college football. Make sure you're following Luginbill on all of his social media platforms, including TikTok, where he's doing a great job of breaking down offensive and some rosters and some college football stuff this offseason. Before LT tells you about Gutter Cap, we had to break here. Austin Cindric wins yesterday in Illinois as Ryan Blaney runs out of gas. Sonoma this weekend for the folks on the racing circuit of NASCAR. And congratulations to Auburn Megan Schofield. She ends up being the low amateur at the Women's U.S. Open. this past weekend. Big moment there for her. Gutter Cap can be big for your home.
45% off the retail price. You call Chris Stewart today. You tell him the next round sent you. He will come out and give you an absolutely free estimate. Best in the business. Think about this. You'll never have to clean those gutters again. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You get out the ladder, you get on the roof, you slip, you fall, snap the neck, and die. No good to the wife or kids. Make the call that I made decades ago. 205-823-2212. Again, 45% off the retail price. GutterCapBirmingham.com. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Nice recruiting win for Lane Kiffin over the weekend. 4-star safety Keon Young picks Ole Miss over Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee. And we were just talking Billy Napier. 4-star quarterback Will Griffin, 4-star quarterback for 2026, picked Florida over the weekend. So some recruiting news there in the SEC.
All right, let's go to ESPN's Tom Luginbill. A lot to cover with Lugs. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Lugs? How are you?
Guys, how we doing today? Everything good?
We're fantastic. How about yourself? You good?
Good.
Can I ask you one thing about
the
new EA Sports video game that's coming out? If all of a sudden it's raining on my game, are you on the sidelines? Is it that realistic of a game? Like if I click on, if I'm playing Dynasty mode and I've got Alabama playing on the road at Wisconsin and it's pouring rain, do you have the sidelines for that game? Is it that realistic?
I wish I wish my pocketbook would tell you yes, but no, I'm not included in all weather-related game coverings on the new EA Sports College Football.
Luginbill, just because we were previewing Iowa as our 40-40 team, and pretty amazing, they've been able to win 10-plus games in 4 of their last 5 full regular seasons with this offense as bad as it is. To win 10 games, but to only average 15 points per game, that's pretty amazing. How much better will the offense be if Cade McNamara is healthy with Tim Lester now calling the plays?
Well, I think it's going to be better because I think the plan of attack is going to be vastly different. I think it's going to be heavy RPO related. They're going to try to do some things to neutralize some athletic advantages that people may have against them on defense. And so what do you try to do? You try to isolate people, right? You try to put somebody in a conflict of assignment. I think they will spread people out a little bit more, a little bit similar to what Wisconsin did last year for the first time in forever under Phil Longo. So the approach, I think, will help them a little bit. And I had a chance to cover Tim Lester's football team at Western Michigan a few times during midweek action, and he had some offenses there that were pretty dynamic. And I think you have to recruit to the personnel a little bit. That might take an off season, maybe 2. You've got the transfer portal, but they've become a little bit more attractive, I think, now, and will probably be a little bit more on the attack from the approach side of things, as opposed to just sitting back, going to line up. We're going to put you in a phone booth. We want to run the football. We really don't have a vertical passing game. We're going to rely on the defense and the best punter in the country. I think they're beyond that now. And listen, if this team can win double-digit wins with literally an inability to cross the 50-yard line on offense, what if they improve just 20%? Just 20%. It looks like I think it's an 8 and a hook minimum, and maybe take the over depending on the schedule.
Yeah, 7.5 right now in Vegas. It looks like an easy over to me.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you get the fighting Redbirds early there with Illinois State, and you got to look at the road contest, but they find ways to do it. It's never going to be pretty. And I think that's one thing, too, that we forget in this day and age. This is now year 26 under Kirk Ferentz, right?
Oh.
When have you ever remembered one season ever where it looked easy and effortless on offense, where it looked explosive and dynamic? It's never been that way. But we've seen everybody else in college football evolve in this certain manner, and that's just never going to be Iowa.
We were discussing Alex Golish earlier, and I'll tell you why, because we were talking about Billy Napier, and Lance, made we were just discussing this in terms of, look, if Billy Napier, it's an impossible schedule. If he shows some signs of life, do you stick with him? And Lance and I were like, I think I got to see who's available. Lance brought up Alex Golish. A lot of people, Alabama fans saw him because they watched that South Florida game. But for those who haven't seen Alex Golish, is this a rising star in coaching in your mind?
Potentially, yes. And I will say this. I think so much of getting that first head coaching opportunity is happening to hit on a quarterback early in the process, which they did last year. I mean, Byron Brown came out of nowhere, over 800 yards rushing, over 3,000 yards passing. Nobody expected that. So it gets you off the mat early. It's kind of like when Mac Brown took the North Carolina job and they plucked Sam Howell out of Florida State's class. He immediately started as a freshman, and they went from 3-9 to competitive immediately because of one player. And I think that kind of helped get the momentum going. And let's not forget, the scheme is the most plug-and-play, quarterback-ready, friendly scheme in all of college football. It has been for Lincoln Riley. It has been for Garrett Riley. It has been for Josh Heupel. It has been for Kendall Briles. We've seen that for years and years and years and years now. And so I think the compliment of hitting on a quarterback, having a quarterback-friendly scheme, kind of got them, put them on a trajectory that a lot of people didn't expect. But they won't be sneaking up on anybody this year.
You deal with rosters all the time in your recruiting aspect, and then you watch these guys once they get to college. I'll give you Georgia and Ohio State as the 2 most talented, rich rosters. Who fills out the other 2 of the top 4 of the most talent-rich rosters? Is Alabama still in that conversation?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any question Alabama is still in that conversation. I think Texas is in the conversation, but if you asked me that question and Tavondre Sweat and Byron Young were back along the defensive front for Texas, I would say without question Texas, but they're not. And we don't know yet the drop-off yet of what the type of player is that's going to be replacing those two. I mean, they were an absolute handful the last couple of years, really helped resurrect that program. But yeah, I think so. It's got to be Alabama. I think to some degree we've seen Texas A&M have access to those types of players. I believe on defense, it's Clemson's in that discussion. Clemson is loaded on defense this year. I mean, they get just remotely better in a couple areas on offense. I think they've got a chance to be really good. But it's your usual suspect. And guys, what's the common denominator that hasn't changed amongst the teams we're mentioning right here, right? It's resources.
Right.
It's having a deck of cards that a handful, 5 to 7, 10 max, are playing with year in and year out, and that separates the good from the great, and that's not changing.
How close is that roster at Oregon? Because, we're hearing a lot of Oregon this offseason. How close is Oregon's roster to Georgia, Ohio State, Texas? Are they on the same level with Alabama?
I think they're top tier with their ones at a lot of spots across the board. I believe that Dan Lanning would probably tell you that the difference is the 2 and the 3 there right now, especially up front on both sides of the ball, probably isn't going to be what Alabama is, what Georgia is, what Ohio State is capable of being. Can they get there? Absolutely. Do they have a massive footprint and a recruiting pool to choose from? And are they attractive on the NIL market? Absolutely. And listen, Dan Lanning knows what he's getting into. He's going from a non-line of scrimmage league to a line of scrimmage league, going from, for the most part, a non-weather league to a weather league. And he has a prowess nationally in recruiting to know where the defensive and offensive linemen are and the clout to be able to lure them to the Pacific Northwest. So are they capable? Absolutely. Is their depth the same as Georgia right now? No.
Sticking with teams from the Pac-12 coming over to the Big Ten, USC. I hear they are spending a ton of money to go out and get recruits. As bad as this defense has been, it's been a sieve over the last couple of years. He still has won 19 games in 2 years with an awful, awful defense. I never thought Miller Moss would be a starting quarterback under Lincoln Riley. He looked the part in the Holiday Bowl with, 5 or 6 touchdowns. How good will Miller Moss be, and how much better do you think USC could possibly be in their first year in the Big Ten?
Well, it's interesting because, Miller Moss was a high-profile recruit. He was an ESPN 300 player. We had him in the Under Armour All-America game, although the COVID hit, and then obviously the rest is history. We don't have the game, didn't get a chance to see him. But I give this guy a lot of credit. To me, he's the West Coast Garrett Nussmeier, right? High-profile guy, came in, learned, developed, wanted to invest in the program, invest in his development, knew he wasn't going to play right away, may not play in year 2, and he hung around, man. I mean, I think I love that about this kid. And now he's going to get his shot. Are there going to be some hiccups? Yeah. Is everything going to look like the Holiday Bowl last year? Probably not all the time. I think that their skill on offense is not going to be good. I think it's potentially great. But you're right. I mean, there's still a ways to go. I know they've made staff changes. Bring Coach Lynn over from UCLA. But how much truly better is their personnel? And I don't mean better than what they have. I mean, is it better enough, and is it a significant enough increase to be able to hold up with the teams that they're expected to hold up with and beat on a national level? I mean, their schedule's brutal, guys. And I know you guys place a lot of stock in the schedule. Their schedule is ridiculous. And so I don't know if they're good enough on defense. I know this. Yes, they won 19 games, but that first year when they got to the Cotton Bowl, Tulane ended up getting them. Remember, that was the year they were plus 22 in turnover margin. And I've said that a dozen times on this show. That does not happen. That's a statistical anomaly. It didn't happen last year, and guess what? Caleb could no longer save them. So I think they are a fascinating team to watch. I'm hoping Lincoln Riley's put some real stock in that side of the ball from a personnel standpoint. Get the coaching side right now. Get better players.
ESPN's Tom Luginbill is with us. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You mentioned going from a non-weather conference to a weather conference. I thought it was funny the way you mentioned that with the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. And that's one thing with Notre Dame. You mentioned that schedule, but they do avoid the bad weather games because I was looking late.
When they play.
Yeah. Nebraska is at home on November 16th. You put that game in Lincoln, that's a mess. They're at UCLA, and then Notre Dame is at home on November 30th. That's always a late season game when it's in LA. So that is one plus they get going to the Big Ten is they don't have to go play a bunch of crap weather games.
Right, in year one.
We'll
see how that unfolds, obviously, right? I mean, at some point, a UCLA, a Washington, and SC is going to get Minnesota in the third week of November.
Yeah.
They're going to get Wisconsin, right? They're going to get Rutgers, and Maryland can get icy up there. So it's going to be, that's what makes this whole transition, this whole realignment so much fun. But pay attention to the line of scrimmage side of it too, because I think that's a really big component for these teams moving out of the Pac-12 and into the Big Ten.
If you had one food that you could be in a Joey Chestnut-like eating contest, what could you eat the most of? What one item? Because he does a variety of different items now. It's not just hot dogs. What's the one thing you could eat the most of, in your opinion?
Nachos. Nachos is my death row meal. A lot of people would get a steak, right? A lot of people would, you really like doll it up. Maybe we do some mahi-mahi or this and that. If you give me a proper nacho, which means you got to have proper layering, right? So the nachos are kind of like quarterback play. It begins from the feet, the ground, on up. So you have your base. Then you have your layer of whatever toppings you want. Then you do another base of chips. And eventually you build yourself a pyramid of excellence. But you can't just have a nacho where everything's on top and then you remove 2 or 3 top chips and it's bare on the middle and in the bottom portion. That's not acceptable.
So interesting.
It's got to be the right kind of nacho.
So you go chips, ingredient, chips.
For as high as I want to go.
Okay, so that's fascinating. I've never thought of that.
That's Luginbill.
Have you ever done it in an air fryer?
No.
Dude. Layer your air fryer with like you know how you put paper in baskets when you get served barbecue or fries or this and that? Put the paper in there.
Okay.
And you do the exact thing I just talked about. And you layer the whole entire thing. Pop it in the air fryer, change your life.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Luginbill's pyramid of success.
That's right, the pyramid of success.
Yeah. Being or having Alabama ties, I'm sure you've been to Orange Beach, Tacky Jacks. I haven't been in a while, but they've got a thing called Mexican garbage. And so it's the nachos with just a ton of stuff on it. Have you had that before?
I haven't.
If not, so where's the coup de grace outside of you doing it of nachos like nationally?
Oh, man. So we have this place in Charlotte called Duckworth's, and they do a buffalo chicken nachos. And nachos also got to be served. You have to be under the assumption that you are ordering the nachos to be the only person eating the nachos. No intention of sharing. But the expectation is if the nachos are done right, it's going to come on a platter that looks like it could feed like 2 or 3, right?
Right.
So you got it. And at Duckworth here in Charlotte, they do like it's a buffalo chicken mountain nacho, and it comes on a big oval shaped platter. It's fantastic. And the reason why it's so fantastic is not only the portion, but they know how to properly layer. They've done the right things. They've done the homework. They've put in the time. And it's a great dish.
So you sent me a text yesterday, Under the Bridge, Hulu. You need to check it out. I went to watch last night. My Hulu is expired somehow.
Oh, dear.
But what is Under the Bridge about? I know my ex and my daughter are watching it right now.
Well, before we get to that, have you gotten on Dark Matter yet?
No.
Okay, you need to get on Dark Matter on Apple. Joel Edgerton, Jennifer Connelly, total mind bender. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. So Dark Matter on Apple. So Under the Bridge is actually based on a real life murder of a teenage girl who's kind of an outcast misfit. And it's up in Victoria, Canada. Riley Keough's in it. And then the girl, Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. And she plays a cop. Riley Keough plays a reporter that's investigating what's happened to this girl. And basically, she's kind of a misfit, and there's all these other girls in this kind of clique, and they're all somehow involved, but nobody knows how involved or who's actually responsible. And it's based off of an actual murder, an actual story, but it's called Under the Bridge.
I know what you did last summer. Sounds a little bit like that.
No.
Look at you going back to the 90s.
All right, he is ESPN's Tom Luginbill. Do you like the Stallions against the Panthers in the rematch?
Oh, man, I tell you what, the Stallions are hanging on by a thread.
I know.
I mean, it's so hard. It is so hard to win one game And then as you go, the tar gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The game's supposed to be, it would have been in Michigan, and then it would have still been in Birmingham because of a stinking Taylor Swift concert. So Birmingham fortunate to win. Either way, they were getting the home field. I think they're the better team. I really do. But Mike Nolan's done an unbelievable job. They're on their third quarterback at Michigan, and they have done an unbelievable coaching job. I do give them the nod. I give them the nod. And if A.J. McCarron stays healthy at quarterback, I think that crowd, don't be surprised if St. Louis gets 45,000 this week.
Wow. That'd be fantastic.
So you're saying you give Michigan the nod or Birmingham?
Birmingham, the slight knocks. I think they're the better team.
Yeah.
I know from sources Skip held a lot of schemes
close
back.
to the best?
Yeah, a lot of schemes back this past week.
That's fine. Hey, listen, it didn't matter if he won or lost the game.
That's right.
At the end of the day, they won, held some things back, and now they can unleash the playbook and whatever they want to do. They're talented, man. They're really, really well coached.
He sent him up over here, Lugs, to come back and hit him over here this week. A little over here, and then a zap, I get you over here.
Gotcha. Where are you coming from?
Whoa, over here.
What a great job, man. I tell you what, guys, it's been a lot of fun. I don't know if you've watched. The football's been awesome.
Yep.
The ratings have been great. It has been so much fun to cover. I just finished my last game of a 10-game season yesterday. I'm going to miss it, man. It's a lot of fun. I hope it's here to stay because it gives great opportunities for a lot of good players.
Yeah. As you're watching this weekend, remember, over here, no, boom, over here.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Well, John Madden. Luke, thank you very much for the time. Have a great week.
You bet, guys. Have a good one.
All right, ESPN's Tom Luginbill with us on the Johnston RVCenter.com hotline.
And Luke's being brought to you in part today by our friends at Odie's as well.
Two great locations. The original and Crestline will be at me and Rocky and Will Haver doing a little team trivia this coming Wednesday night. The newest location in Edgewood, the corner of Broadway and Oxmoor. Me and Brown were in there on Friday. Brown got him a basket of fries.
I did. A little T came and helped me eat those with a little ranch on the side.
There's a girl there I'd never met her before with Anheuser-Busch, and I ended up eating half of her sandwich, the buffalo chicken wrap. It was absolutely fantastic. But great food from Rodney Davis at both locations. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers. I mentioned one of those great sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop in today. Either Crestline or now Edgewood at Odie's Tavern.
We get out the dry erase board in the next segment. And there's a lot of talk about EA Sports and the game coming. I've got their top 3 toughest home field advantage I'll give you in the next segment. But I want you guys to draw a line down the middle of your dry erase board, and I want you to write the top 6 on one side of your line, top 6 toughest places to play in the SEC, and the top 6 toughest places to play in the Big Ten. And I think you'll notice the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten just by our little exercise we'll do in the next segment as we continue on here, and maybe a little something in Auburn uniforms in the next segment as well. Show being brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. More storms in the forecast throughout the next week. Just those pop-up storms can do damage to your roof. Always have that free no-cost roof inspection in your back pocket with Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. 205-542-3531. 542-3531. Or just go to Facebook and look up Greg from Pell City. That's Storm Restoration Roofing. Family-owned business for over 20 years. That helps you know that the crews are local. And Greg's not going anywhere. He's got 10 kids, so he is anchored right here in the area. So he backs up his work just by being here all the time. Storm Restoration Roofing has all the best warranties in the business, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and so much more. Give him a call, 205-542-3531, or go to Facebook and look up Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the Next Round. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Way to Wellness. Before I show you Way to Wellness, I want to show you the Joey Chestnut video for us, because that's why I asked Lugs, what could he eat the most of? We know Joey Chestnut for hot dogs, right? That's where we first got Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, but if you go to like his, for whatever reason, I think we did it one time, went to his Wikipedia, he holds like 15 records.
That's right. And he was at the Toledo Mud Hens this weekend, and he was able to eat 4 pints of ice cream in, I think it was 1 minute. 1 minute.
That's got to be some brain freeze.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the amount of the ice cream. It's the fact that how do you physically do that without getting brain freeze?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what brought it up to me, was the brain freeze.
Yeah.
Jack Taylor doesn't get brain freeze.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah.
Maybe Joey doesn't have a brain.
I mean, maybe he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because that stops me in my tracks. I don't know about you guys.
It shuts me. That's the worst headache you'll get.
Yeah, and that's like... Can you imagine having that pain for like 2 hours straight?
No, sir.
No, he's hurting right now. I can tell he's got the brain freeze there. So 4 pints, and that's not the most impressive thing I've ever seen him do. That's actually looks a little slow, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's far less disgusting than him eating those hot dogs, though.
Hey, by the way, what does he do outside of eat at these events?
Take a dump.
It's public appearances,
Personal
right?
trainer.
Yeah.
I really wonder what his day-to-day is. Does he have to eat to practice to expand his stomach?
Didn't we look at his net worth one time and it was surprisingly large?
I think it's like $7 million. Yeah, I mean,
that would be surprisingly large for me.
Large.
Yeah. Kobayashi recently retired, and he's in that documentary on Netflix about gut health, and he talked about how it all ruined his insides.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
He has a struggle to do the BMs, the bowel movement.
So did Elvis. $4 million for Joey Chestnut. That's kind of a low, I mean... It's not bad for what he does there, but it may not get you to the finish line. It's like telling me
Charlie Sheen's got nasal issues.
Yeah.
I love ice cream, though, man.
Winning.
I love that ice
Wall
cream.
Street over the weekend.
Wow.
Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie and her board-certified team will help you jumpstart that weight loss. Don't need to eat 4 pints of ice cream on the plan, but you can have some wiggle room to enjoy your own lunch or dinner. That's what I get to do. My own lunch and dinner every day. I have these protein bars that I start off with at breakfast and sort of fills in the gap when I get hungry so I don't snack badly. Every plan's different. No cookie cutter plan. You can get more details at planforme.com. Planforme.com. That'll take you to the Way to Wellness website. You'll find out there's no contract, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation that you see our guys going through at Way to Wellness, absolutely free. So go check it out right now. Way to Wellness right here in the Birmingham metro area. The best in the business. Don't take a pill or a shot or anything like that to lose weight. Do it the old-fashioned way. Earn it. With our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
That was the old commercial. What was that commercial? We earn it.
Yeah, it was some financial.
Yeah,
it was the guy from the Paper Chase.
Yep.
What was the old dude's name?
I can't remember his name, but he's that actor.
Reputation. We earned
it.
We earned it. All right, EA Sports in the game is coming out in July. I can't wait. But here we go. Here is EA Sports' top 3 toughest places to play in the game. The release is LSU 1, Penn State 2, Georgia number 3. Now, I will say right here, to me, Georgia is what Alabama was over the last 17 years. It's tough because the team is so dang good.
Yeah, I would agree. I did not have Georgia on my list coming up.
I did, but they're there because of the tough team.
Did this sway you to put Georgia on there, though, honestly? No, I'm talking about that list.
Probably.
I mean, if I would have seen it before, I might have put Georgia on there because it was, back end of the 6 that we're doing. I mean, you could sub one in for out.
So this is a big picture topic I want to talk about real quick because we've always heard what separates. There are 2 things that separates the SEC from other conferences. One of those is defensive line speed. The speed of the defensive linemen and edge rushers are just faster than they are in any other league for the most part.
Yeah, what they always say is the linemen in the SEC run like the linebackers everywhere else. The safeties, it just
it trickles up.
It trickles up.
Yeah. And then I think road games are tougher in the SEC than they are in the Big Ten. Though, thank goodness for the addition of the Pac-12, in my opinion, the Big Ten has gotten a little tougher. Let me see your list of SEC Big Ten. We'll go you first, LT, and then you, Browning.
So I've got Florida at number 6. This used to be a hell of a home field advantage just because of the heat, especially in like September and October. You never know where you're going to get there. It's very loud. Number 5, A&M. I've never been there. It looks great on camera.
I've been there. It is. It's intense. Ironically, though, they've lost a lot of big games.
I mean, they don't really back it up. Their biggest wins have been there against Alabama, obviously, but they don't back it up.
Alabama, I think it has gotten a lot better. I don't know if you guys agree. I think it will be even better in year 1 for DeBoer because it's almost like a reset for Alabama fans.
It's gotten a lot better. I will ask you this. It seems like the best home field advantages are from fan bases who are absolutely starving for success.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Hungry for success.
But don't you think Alabama fans are going to be a lot hungrier this year in year 1 with DeBoer?
To try to hold on to that gold ring? Absolutely.
I can't even imagine how loud. If Alabama is undefeated going into that Georgia game. Number 3, I've got Tennessee. When the Vols are good, boy, Knoxville cooks. Number 2, LSU, and number 1 is Auburn.
Yeah.
I think Auburn has the best home field advantage in all of college football. Big Ten, I've got Wisconsin at 6. We will experience it this year, hopefully. Number 5, Oregon.
Wow.
Number 4, I think Iowa does have a
better than Oregon.
Real home field advantage. Washington. Number 3, number 2, Ohio State, and number 1, Penn State.
Penn State number 1. So you agree with EA Sports? Toughest place in the Big Ten is Penn State.
It seems like it.
Okay, Brownie.
Now, I want to say before I unveil mine here that this is hard to do because there are some places, like you said, they're just tough to play because the teams are good there. And I think you'll see that sneak into this. But I am going to start with Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, LSU's Tiger Stadium. I think Jordan-Hare Stadium is number 2 for me. Bryant-Denny, number 3. Sanford Stadium in Georgia. Again, I'm just saying, you poll the coaches of these conferences where you not want to play. They don't want to go play Georgia at Sanford Stadium, do they? Is that because the crowd's out? Not necessarily.
I don't think they want to play Georgia at home either.
They don't. Neyland is number 5 for me. In the Big Ten, I went with the Horseshoe number 1 for a lot of the same reason. I bet if you poll the Big Ten coaches, where do you not want to play this year? I do not want to go to Columbus. I'd rather play them on the road. Oregon is number 2. Washington, I've got 3rd. The Big House 4th. And Whiskey, jump around, number 5.
So we're all pretty close. For me in the SEC, LSU is the toughest. Auburn is 2nd. Flip-flopping with you guys. Tennessee, A&M, Florida. And then I put Georgia down there. But Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama. I mean, those are places off the top 6 list there. Meanwhile, over here, I think Oregon's the toughest place to play. I'll put Penn State second, Ohio State, Washington, Michigan, and Iowa.
Well, y'all give Iowa a lot more respect than I do. I've never watched that and thought, boy, that is a tough place to play.
Because I asked you for 6. Now, who's your 6 in the Big Ten? See if it comes up Iowa.
It would have been Penn State. It would not have been Iowa.
Oh, you don't
Not
even
at
have
all.
Penn State in your top 5?
I went Wisconsin in front of Penn State.
So who do you have that is sticking out from me?
Did you have Michigan?
I've heard
I do have Michigan.
I've heard it's not a great.
I've got Oregon. I got Penn State. I got Ohio State. I got Washington. I got Michigan, and I got Iowa.
Yeah, I would not have Iowa in my top 6.
Seems like, and maybe I get sold on the kids waving.
Well, I mean, they wave at those kids.
You
at the
got
end of the
Michigan,
half.
Brown. You got Big House.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Iowa.
But Iowa lulls you to sleep because of the bad offense they play.
I
Great
know.
defense.
just
They
never
always
looked
seem
at
to
it as a tough
force
place to
those
play.
turnovers
Yeah.
and win games 15-13.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase the question. Who would you have 6?
Penn State. That's what I've already
You don't
said.
have Penn State on there?
No. I would have them 6.
You know, and this is all cyclical depending on how
What is
good.
so confusing about
Let's say
this?
Matt
I'm
Rule.
just trying to figure out what I have and you don't have.
I don't know.
Okay, I've got Ohio State.
Okay, we do.
I've got Oregon.
We do.
I got Washington.
We do.
I've got Michigan.
We do. I got Wisconsin.
And I've got Wisconsin.
And then I'd go Penn State.
Let's say that Raioli is really good. They
Yep.
win 9 games this year. His final year, they're winning 10, 11 games consistently.
It's been a tough place to play historically.
I think Memorial Stadium would be
Could
right
be.
there. But because these teams, like I would have Florida higher if they
if they
weren't
were
so
any
bad.
good.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
They used to be your
Oh,
top, but of
it
course
was the longest home winning streak in America. I think Alabama broke it.
That was the
one
only
year.
thing that stopped
Yeah.
me from Penn State. Like my hesitation putting Penn State at 1. Like how many big games have they actually won?
Yeah, but see,
at
with
Beaver
Florida,
Stadium?
they were really a tough place to play when Spurrier was the coach.
That's right.
Because they were
See,
good.
I think,
Urban.
The reason I left Penn State out, I think people get sucked in on the whiteout game, and that's a nice atmosphere. But then you go watch them. Purdue's in there, that is a sleepy atmosphere. Or if Iowa's in there, that's a sleepy atmosphere. I know it's a big stadium, but I think their fans sit on their hands a lot there at Penn State. I think that is a spoiled fan base that sits on their hands a lot. I've talked to people I talked to Auburn fans specifically that went and they were like, hey, it was a great atmosphere, but it would be mid-tier SEC atmosphere. When Auburn fans are up there for that night game.
Everyone's saying you don't have Penn State either. I do. I have them second.
Yes, you do.
I'll have to look at your board and do the math in the break or something.
What is so confusing
I don't know.
about
I've
this?
got Oregon. You've got Oregon.
That is
I
right,
think the
Jim.
only
Yes.
thing confusing is you didn't do 6 and 6.
Yeah, I've got Penn State.
I don't have Penn State.
You don't. Okay, so that's where it is.
Well, that's what we just talked about. I wouldn't have Iowa. I would have Penn State next.
Yeah.
I'd have them 6. I don't
Who
know why
do
we
you-
went 6
Who do you
to
have
5.
in your 5 that I don't have, though? I guess is what I'm asking.
I really don't know.
Let me
I
see-
don't.
let me see your list
Let me
again.
look at this.
Holy
Where's your
crap,
salary?
Jim. What are you having a
He
stroke?
doesn't have Iowa.
Right.
Yeah. And he doesn't have Penn State.
I have Penn State. I got
and you've got both
Wisconsin.
of those.
Washington is what you have there.
Yeah. That shaky camera game gets us.
Yeah.
Pulls
Okay.
us in.
The UW had
Tough
me
place to go.
confused. I'm reading that as Wisconsin. You're reading that as Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's where I got confused.
Wisconsin's number 5.
Thank
Where do
you,
you have
Coach
Penn,
Law.
you didn't have Penn State on
I
there.
have Penn State right there, or Iowa.
It was the UW that had me confused. Wisconsin and Washington.
Yeah.
there.
Iowa, y'all are giving way more respect than I thought.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like it's always either a weather game or it's a high grass game. Are they on turf yet?
No, I think it's still real grass there at Iowa. But it's like 60,000 fans, isn't it?
I think if you go back and Iowa seems to upset a team at home every year they're not supposed to be.
Well, so Purdue
That's the way
does
it
that a
seems.
lot too.
Wasn't last
but
year.
but I wouldn't put Purdue in there.
No,
but they do that a lot.
Iowa's our team today in our 40 and 40 countdown at number 28. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at Hemphill. They also brought you best and worst of the weekend earlier in the show. Tell us about Hemphill LT.
Trusted name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys here. 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Okay, so last week we showed you Virginia Tech going back to the Michael Vick era uniforms. And what everyone is talking about, at least the guy who's writing at CBSSports.com, is that you're seeing the wilder uniforms from the 20-teens going away, and a lot of schools are going back to retro looks.
I love it.
The next to do it is Baylor. Not necessarily retro, but cleaning up their look a little bit. Baylor's new uniforms unveiled yesterday for the Baylor Bears, and much like Virginia Tech, they're going back to a traditional look there with the arms and cleaning up that jersey a little bit. The one on the far left is probably their cleanest green look. Not a fan of their yellow. I think the white's a good look, and I do like the black.
See, I don't like the black and yellow. Like, I could just take the green and white. I think those are clean, old-school Baylor looks. For whatever reason, I like green and gold together like that.
Fact,
Oakland A's have got a good uniform, and I think that Baylor, outside of the alternate uniforms that they've recently brought in the black and yellow, I like them a lot.
That road white's a good-looking uniform right there. I like that.
And that, by the way, is a Nike school. And if you guys remember in the off-season, Auburn announced that they are a Nike school now. So I wonder if we will get a little bit of a tweak or redesign to the Auburn jersey.
I could see it. Yeah, Brown was I guess we were at the Auburn facilities when you leaked that and you pissed everybody off, didn't you?
I mean, I just asked John Cohen, and he basically answered it without answering it. I mean, I had to ask the question.
Next round stole our scoop.
That's what Auburn fans wanted to hear. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know I mean, the one thing you don't need to do is go to the mid-90s drop shadow numbers.
No,
God,
you
I
don't
hated
want that
trend. The Dolphins did it too.
Can you pull up an Auburn picture of this past season that shows the uniform well first? Or I did not plan on this, so it may take him a minute. Because I don't really know. They stick with that traditional look for the most part.
Which is good.
Yeah, I don't know what you would really do. I don't know what you would change from the Under Armour jersey.
Yeah, from the Under Armour to the Nike jersey, other than taking off the Under Armour logo and putting the Nike logo on there.
Clearly you'll do that, yes.
That'll be an upgrade right there.
Yeah, or even the Jumpman, whatever it ends up being. Troy, who's a big Auburn fan, no orange jersey, no blue helmets. And I don't think any of that will happen.
That would be bad.
I think they'll stick with the traditional look. I just don't know. The only time Auburn's jerseys changed a whole lot for me was the drop shadow numbers, and that was the Terry Bowden era?
Yeah, that was still Russell Athletic, I think, back in the day in the Terry Bowden era. That was mid-'90s. It was a bad look. I'd never liked the drop shadow numbers.
Yeah. I'm not sure they'll change anything, but they will have technically a new look this year because there'll be a Nike uniform. Jeff wants blue face mask only. They have changed their face masks. They've gone orange, blue, white, and the gray in my lifetime.
I like the gray.
You like the old school gray?
I don't hate the orange one. I mean, the face mask is never really. That's just such a small change. That's never really done anything for me.
I sort of like the blue.
The only time I would really like the orange is when the Oregon tries to look like their duck uniform, where they've got the orange on the bottom and they've got the orange on the beak. It does kind of look like a duck.
It does. No, you're right. Now that I think about it.
Here's Iron Bowl this past year. So just take away the Under Armour. And put the Nike there. I don't know they'll change too much.
All that's really changed from like the Pat Dye era is, the sleeves used to be longer on jerseys, so the stripes went all the way around the sleeve, that orange and white stripe, but the sleeves aren't that long anymore, so you really can't do that.
Good picture there, Forster. That is two classic uniforms that don't need to be touched.
I agree 100%. 100% with you on that. Yeah, I don't know what you would do with that Auburn uniform. That is as close to the...
Yeah, I don't think you can.
The traditional Pat Dye era, which is the era I'd want to replicate. That's as close as you can get right there, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine that they will have a uniform release at some point because Nike's doing this now with a lot of their schools. And we'll see when Auburn's Nike uniforms is released and if we can tell the difference.
I love what Rhett Lashley said on our show Friday. If you did not see it, a really good interview with the SMU coach. And he said, if you turn on the TV and you can't tell who's playing because of their uniform, you've gone too far.
You've gone too far.
I'm all right with changing some things up, is what Red is saying. I'm all right with changing some things up, but if I can't tell who's playing, we've gone too far. And I think all too often, like I was just watching highlights on one of our screens here, the Phillies last night, wearing that atrocious, I don't even know what the uniform is that they were wearing. And I couldn't tell, I mean, I knew who played the game. It's the only reason I knew who it was, and it was Cardinals and Phillies. I mean, I get that you want to do city uniforms and things like that. I should be able to turn the game on and know immediately who's playing.
100%. Hey, don't forget our interview with Kristen Sabin. LT's interview with Kristen Sabin, last call, drops today at the conclusion of our show, just after 12 noon. It's the last call with Kristen Sabin. You heard earlier with her talking about the day her dad retired and how she found out about it. It's an interesting story. If you missed that, you can get that in the whole interview. And everything else that LT discusses off the cuff. Last call with Kristen Sabin, dropping later today on all of our platforms, including YouTube. So go like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up right there. When we come back, Four Downs, part of the show as we continue on today. Four Downs LT has for us. I will tell you this as we get ready to go to break. Things go quickly in sports. You can be near the top of your profession, and then like that, you're not anymore. For the second bout in a row, Zili Zhang of China, heavyweight, has beaten Deontay Wilder, the Tuscaloosa boxer. 5th round knockout this time over the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't even see it, but man, that's a sentence you don't hear a lot as a Chinese heavyweight.
No.
Yeah.
Did you see the knockout? Have you seen video of it at all?
2 big rights knock him down.
And Wilder is just, I mean, he's just a sitting duck. I mean, like he's got no defense up or anything. I mean, he plowed him.
I just wonder where Wilder is, like the mentality. You know, he's made a ton of money, and, you know, once you lose a little bit of edge. You know, unfortunately, over the weekend, for some people that cared, including me, the Paul Tyson fight has been called off.
Yeah.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
So
Mike Tyson's having some sort of health issues, or he's staging them to get out of the fight.
Yeah, they had to do like an emergency landing with him on a plane the other day because he was having this ulcer flare up. He was getting dizzy and stuff. My speculation is he is training at a really high level that he hasn't trained at in a long time, and at 58, that doesn't fly.
Yeah.
And that was one of the, you know, people are like, man, Tyson's going to kill him. I'm like, I really don't think he is.
Yeah, I never thought that at all.
You know, this kid's 30 years younger, and this kid's got heavy hands, and I think Tyson's out there busting his ass trying to really get in shape, and it's just, you know, you can't get into, you know, premium fighting shape at 58 years old. It's impossible.
Yeah, just Deontay, you know, hopefully it was a ton of money he made, and you just don't want to see him get out there and get hit like he did by those 2 rights and, you know, have any long-term effects from his boxing career. All right, we continue on with 4 downs coming up on the other side. Iowa, our team at number 28. Luginbill with us earlier. You can get our football conversation with him right there at Spotify, Apple, and also on YouTube and wherever you get the Next Round podcast. We're back in a moment.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Our friends at Longyear's Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longyear's offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longyear's offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longyear's sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longyear's has to offer you.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Back with you on the next round. LT's got 4 downs for us today. It's brought to you by the great friends at Slice Pizza. Before we get to him telling us about Slice, one more thing here. I don't spend money on trading cards or anything. I've got 2 souvenirs from baseball. There was a strike one year and there was no World Series. So there was a World Series baseball made, or maybe there was no commissioner at the time that they played the World Series. I have a World Series baseball that had no commissioner name on it.
Is it worth something, you think?
I don't know. I got that at home, and I've got a Roger Clemens autographed baseball. Oh, and I guess I have a Nolan Ryan. I got 3 baseballs. Yeah. A Nolan Ryan, a Roger Clemens, and then the baseball with no commissioner on it, which usually it has a commissioner's name on it. That's about it. And I didn't pay anything. They were all gifts. 0. Apparently there was a 1-of-1 Michael Jordan trading card from 1993 that was out there, autographed by Michael Jordan, and it's a 1-of-1. And it sold over the weekend for $2.928 million. So $2.9+ million, and that's the trading card right there. A 1-of-1 for the Michael Jordan card, not another one in the planet.
It seems like a waste of money. There was something about that Honus Wagner card, because there was only like 13 mint ones in the world, and just knowing that maybe you could stumble across somebody's attic, a great grandmother's attic, and find something like that.
How quick would you sell it?
Well, it made it more appealing. Like, this is 1-of-1. It's the only one out there. Does that make any sense? To me, I'm more intrigued by the Honus Wagner.
Yeah, just because of how old it is. I mean, it's not really all that old right here. It's only
the fact that it's out in the lot. I mean, it's out in the wild right now.
So we don't know who owns that.
No, there's only like, I don't know what the number is of mint condition ones that are out there right now, but there could be others out there.
But you're saying there's that enough of them were made that you could stumble across one that's a mint condition.
Yeah.
And be 14 instead of 13.
Yeah, I remember my grandparents in Maplesville. I would go through their attic and stuff when I was younger, just trying to hoping to find some old baseball cards. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my son's about to go to Italy on a trip with the school, and my dad, who turned a little older this past Friday, he said, just tell him to bring me back an Italian coin. And, the world has changed a lot since, my dad was born, 79 years ago, whatever. And I told my son, not thinking, hey, I just got off the, phone with your pops, and he wants you to bring back an Italian currency coin. And he's like, you mean the euro? And I was like, no, the one they use in Italy. He's like, Dad, that's
the euro.
They're
the euro.
And I'm like, well, crap, that's no fun anymore.
No, they're probably worth a lot more now because nobody uses them.
Yeah, I said, if you find an old Italian coin, grab that one. He's like, yeah, that's not going to happen, Dad. All right, 4 downs. Tell us about Slice.
5 great locations. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo. I was actually at the Crestline Park location yesterday. Got a half and half. Did half of the Wing and a Prayer, and on the other half, spicy Hawaiian. Local pizza, local ingredients. Get into one of those 5 locations. Tell the Bajaya brothers the next round sent you. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Okay, let this one settle for a second. More points per game in 2024. Iowa or Nebraska? Iowa 15.4 last year. Nebraska only 18 points per game.
I love Nebraska's quarterback situation. It may not be Raiola. It may be someone else. But I think Nebraska has I'm not going to say better year than Iowa, but close enough that I think they're better offensively. I'm going to take Nebraska with more points this year.
I think I will too. For some reason, I'm buying Raiola.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good.
Buying Dylan Raiola, yeah.
Yeah, but I think McNamara coming back, they've got 2 quality wide receivers, and I think Tim Lester I think the goal is to, Luginbill said, if you get this up 15%, that's 3 points per game. That's a field goal. From 15 to 18, that ain't good enough. But I think they're going to be up around 25, maybe 28 points per game. I am going to say Iowa here.
In fact, the first Saturday of the season, Nebraska plays UTEP. Normally don't care 2:30 Fox. I mean, that is a Fox game, Nebraska UTEP. I'll be interested in peeking in on that one. Just see if he's the starter, Dylan Raiola, just see what he looks like. Because they get Colorado the next week, primetime on NBC in Memorial Stadium. I think they're an interesting little story if Raiola is any good. They could start out pretty good before they get to Ohio State. They could be undefeated going into that mid-October game at Ohio State.
Good. 12 regular season games. I'll take for a stake Nebraska more points than Iowa.
I'll take Iowa more wins than Nebraska.
No. No.
Well, you just said they were going to be right as good as
I
Iowa.
literally said I don't think they'll be as good, but close to as good as Iowa. But points, you just took Iowa that will score more points than Nebraska.
I'll take Iowa if you'll do both. I'll do one.
I'm not interested in both. Iowa's going to win more games than Nebraska. That's me giving you one and then 50-50 on the other.
Second down.
Rafael Nadal, 38 years old. Better career, Rafael Nadal, Rafael Palmeiro.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think it's probably Nadal, but Palmeiro we forget because he was so defiant in Congress.
Yeah,
shaking his finger and then he finds out.
Yeah, he pointed at
it. He had one of the best swings I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's sad that's the memory a lot of people go to first. Forster says Nadal easy.
I think I would
says
too.
Nadal easy.
Yeah, I mean Nadal won a lot of majors. I didn't even look today.
Especially the French. He's probably the best clay court player ever.
Yeah.
So I think I'd go Rafi Nadal.
And that's what skews it a little bit for me is that he's so dominant on – he won others, but he was so dominant on clay, so that was one major almost every year for his career.
And he did it in capri pants.
Yeah.
He did do that in capri pants. That's amazing.
I literally
told
Stephanie Walker of NBC 13 back when we did the morning show, I said, I like him because of the capri pants. I wish they would come in style for guys. I really wish capri pants were a thing for guys.
You can
They are for some guys.
Yeah.
They are for some guys. Raphael Frenchman.
No, there's a lot of, it is stylish right now to show about 2 or 3 inches of the ankle, little skin. So it's not quite to where Nadal had it, but you could, I think you should try it.
Always thought that was a cool look. I find myself at home, if I've got on joggers or sweatpants, that I'll pull them up above the calf a little bit.
That's a cool look, do you?
Get a little capri.
Yeah. Just at home?
I don't do it when I'm out and about. Occasionally in here if it's a hot day.
Can't call the ladies to fall into sin. You don't want to do it out on the street.
Yeah, but I'll go Nadal, but don't disrespect Rafael Palmeiro. Great in college at Mississippi State, I believe.
Yeah, he was. He and Will Clark there together, right?
A long, great career in the NFL. I mean, in Major League Baseball.
Third down.
Anderson Cooper, 57 years old. Better career, Anderson Cooper, Cooper Cup.
Anderson Cooper's a Vanderbilt, man.
Oh, man.
He's got moolah.
He does. He's got a lot of cash.
Didn't he see a family member commit suicide?
I think
Probably.
so.
I'm like, he said he met Charlie Chaplin. He met, what's the dude? The Capote.
Truman Capote?
Yeah, he had the dirtiest fingernails he's ever seen in his life was Truman Capote.
That's an interesting thing that's a takeaway for
But
somebody.
like he's a Vanderbilt, so.
I mean, how dirty must your fingernails be if you're like, you met Truman Capote, right? Like, dirtiest fingernails I've ever seen in my life.
Well, Pacino's got some rough fingernails,
Does
too.
he really?
To me, Cooper Kupp, to be the best receiver on the planet for about a year and a half, as a third-round white guy out of Eastern Washington, pretty amazing. And him and Stafford, offensively, single-handedly won that Super Bowl. Defense had a big part in that.
So will you ever put Cooper Kupp in a 4 downs that he doesn't win?
Probably not.
I'm trying to think.
Cooper Kupp or the actual cup?
Yeah, it's the Solo Cup, Red Solo Cup.
I mean, I would go Stanley Cup over Cooper Kupp.
You would?
Yeah, it's had a better run.
Better cup?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cooper Tires, not as good as Cooper Kupp.
No.
Fourth.
Go ahead.
Fourth down.
Okay, Al Horford celebrating a birthday today. He is 38 years old now.
Still playing with the Celtics.
Better Florida career, Al Horford or Emmitt Smith?
Well, Horford played on better teams. I mean, Emmitt Smith's Florida teams weren't like great, were they?
No,
they were good.
I think they were like 9-win teams.
Yeah.
But he still, did he not lead the nation rushing a couple of years
ago?
ago?
He may have, yeah. I mean, Emmitt Smith's incredible.
NFL's all-time leading rusher.
Yeah, but he said Florida career, though. Florida career.
Oh, Florida career. Yeah. Al Horford was on a 2-time national champion.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I think Horford had the better Florida career just because of the teams he was on. Yeah. But you're right, Emmitt Smith was obviously the better player. But when you say career.
Yeah. I mean, Horford's still playing. I mean, still playing in the NBA.
I know.
What was that, 2007, or is it 2008, their last national championship at Florida? That's a long time ago now.
Long time.
So Al Horford's been playing pro basketball since then.
He's had a good career.
And Noah was viewed as the better player, but remember that Dick Vitale controversy when he didn't hang up a phone and he said that Al Horford's going to be so much better in the NBA, and he ended up being right.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So he was talking about. What was Noah's first name? Why can I not say his name?
Joakim.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rockstar. So he was talking about Joakim Noah, and he's like, "Oh, Horford to be the better NBA player," and that was controversial.
Well, because I think he used some expletives or something, or in the context. I forgot exactly what. You guys don't remember that?
I really
didn't
don't.
hang up the phone.
Yeah, but truthfully, he ended up being exactly right.
Oh my gosh, nowhere close.
Yeah, where in the world is Joakim Noah right now? Probably
on the
wearing
beach.
capri pants.
Right.
It looks like it.
And that's 4 Downs,
That's
brought to
it.
you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations for you, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continued by his brothers Jason and Chris. Stop into one of those 5 locations, get a slice and a salad today, pick up a pizza on the way home. You're going to absolutely love it. Best pizza out there, local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Okay, we're running out of Pac-12 moments because once the baseball season's over with, the last Pac-12 team's eliminated, it'll be done, or Stanford. In women's softball tonight, if they get eliminated today, as they likely will by Texas, then it'll be down just to baseball. And I don't know how many teams they'll have alive in the super regionals. I haven't checked. But Brown is going to set us up for a question when we come back about your favorite top 5 Pac-12 athletes of all time. Brown will set this up for you on the other side. So we'll pull the dry erase boards out, and any sport, your 5 favorite Pac-12 athletes of all time.
If I best, not favorite. Well, I mean, I guess you could go favorite. I don't know.
Let's go favorite.
Oh, well, that's going to change my answer.
Because you have
Well,
one
no,
that'll be
I was
on
asked,
there.
Jeff Spiegel asked on the Zone last night, the 5
This is
best.
off Bill Walton. It had to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was remembering Bill Walton, the best 5 Pac-12 players, any sport, all time. And I would say there's several in there I don't particularly like. I prefer to do it that way. I'll do you can do it any way you want.
Yeah.
I'll do my best 5.
I'm going to do my 5 favorite.
Okay.
Who obviously are pretty good to be my favorite. That's coming up in our next segment and a lot more. Show being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. Listen, as you get a little older, guys, from your 20s to 30s, you really have to start worrying about your long-term health, right? So stay on top of your health, 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, and so on, with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. So much changes inside your body as you get older, and these folks will help you stay on top of it. 16 locations all over the great state of Alabama, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Check them out. 16 locations, as I said. Those numbers or website can set up an appointment, or you can find out more details. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. It's urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Back with you on the Next Round as we roll on. Final hour of the show, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. The picture will pop up here and you will see great choices for lunch today. In fact, 4 minutes ago, Sterling opened the door and said, "Y'all come on in, folks." He's been working on that fried chicken overnight, brined overnight, cooked to order when you order it at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Hand-cut chicken fingers, too, that even Rockstar, who is a chicken finger snob, would tell you.
2 big breasts, too. The Jimmy Titty.
You like those?
The Jimmy Titty
the
special.
JT?
Yeah, but the hand-cut chicken fingers are good. The Mississippi Delta recipe, tamales, and so much more. Champy'sChicken.com. Champy'sChicken.com there. So as we say goodbye to the Pac-12, Brown was on the Zone last night. On first of all, Mary says, when's the Kristen Sabin interview coming out? 12 noon today, just after 12 noon Central Time, Mary. I don't know if you're watching us in the easy East time zone, the easy East time zone. 12 noon, it will drop on our platform on YouTube. Start over there at YouTube right at 12 noon today. Brown, you were on the Zone last night. Explain to us what you were talking about.
Well, in one of our topics, we paid homage to Bill Walton, and Speegs asked the question of Doug Segrist and I. He asked us to rank the top 5 Pac-12 athletes of all time. Now, a couple things here. Number one, it has been the Pac-8, the Pac-10, and the Pac-12. Obviously, we're talking historically traditional Pac-12 schools.
So you're taking all of those.
Yeah, all of those. And number two, this is really hard to do and not consider their professional career. That does make this hard. I tried to consider their collegiate career as much as I did, or more than I did their professional career. But as you'll see, everybody I ranked, that was really hard for me to do because everybody I ranked is a pretty good pro too. All right? You want me to go first?
Absolutely, Brownie.
I went Jackie Robinson, number 1. Played at UCLA. Actually,
Did you see him play a lot?
Huh?
Did you see him play a lot?
We didn't get TV back then. At UCLA.
Says the guy that says Willie Mays is the best player of all time.
Really.
I know, but I actually did see Willie play a little bit.
Well, I never said you had to see these guys. I just said the 5 best of all time. Jackie Robinson at UCLA, actually baseball was maybe his worst sport. He was a 4-sport star at UCLA. Football, his best sport. Track, his best sport. He played basketball for the Bruins and then went on to Major League Baseball and is a Hall of Famer in Major League Baseball. Tiger Woods, number 2. He only played 2 years at Stanford, but they were a dominant 2 years, won more than half the tournaments he played in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was so good. I was telling Dunaway this. Speaks brought up the fact they changed the rules for him. He dunked, and
we don't need to do this.
We've had some stupid rule changes in college sports, and this was one of them. They eliminated the slam dunk because of him. Barry Bonds at Arizona State was back-to-back player of the year, an incredible baseball player at Arizona State, and that translated into the pros as well. And then Reggie Bush is the one of these that I saw the most, and it's hard to rank the best USC players. But Reggie Bush, the best USC player I've seen with my own 2 eyes. So I'll put him at number 5. Now, you can argue, obviously, Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson,
Ronnie Lott.
I'll tell you,
Troy Polamalu.
Munoz.
Anthony Munoz.
Anthony Munoz is one of the best offensive linemen ever to play the game.
Matt Leinart.
Yeah, so
Let's
it's really
give away
hard.
everyone else's list, though. Go ahead. What's yours?
Well, I think they all know those people.
So mine almost mirrors this. I forgot about Jackie Robinson. Oops.
Yes. Oops.
I would probably put him on there, but I had Barry Bonds. I didn't think anybody would have Barry Bonds. I had Kareem, Bill Walton, Reggie Bush, and Tiger Woods.
And Tiger Woods.
I thought about Warren Moon, too.
Yeah, UW.
Where? That's right, Washington. for him.
Washington, yeah.
Yeah. So no Brock Heward.
No Brock Heward.
Unfortunately for Brock.
I did think about Andrew Luck for a minute. I thought about Marcus Mariota for a minute.
Yeah, no. I mean, to me, enjoyment, right? Pat Tillman up there for Keith. Tiger Woods, enjoyed watching him not only at Stanford, but his pro career. Barry Bonds, Reggie Bush, Junior Seau, USC, right?
Oh, yeah.
Watching
Yeah,
Seau play
absolutely.
there. And Jake Plummer sees that one season at Arizona State.
1996.
Was so fun watching Arizona State play their way to the Rose Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a fun season to watch.
And then him try to bring them back in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, right?
Yep. I think David Boston caught the winning touchdown for Ohio State, but it was a great game. Bruce Snyder and Arizona State were undefeated, and they covered every game up until that game.
See, I'm older, so I watched a little of Kareem. Can't remember him at UCLA. Can't remember Bill Walton, but I always cheered against him.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Lakers fan when Kareem was there. Never really liked Bill Walton. God rest his soul and all that. But I like these guys. And Barry Bonds is actually, I think, was in the outfield the first time I watched the College World Series on ESPN. I think he was playing.
The Arizona State team or teams did get there.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And he was obviously a completely different player back then.
You mentioned this. The funny thing about this is the only player in my list, you could see Barry Bonds in the College World Series. That's the only time college baseball was on TV is once they got to Omaha. And then Reggie Bush, I guess UCLA games, there were some TV games back then, right?
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, you never saw him play in college. You'd see him in the U.S. Amateur, but not in college. And then, of course, Jackie Robinson. It's just funny how much TV has changed. You didn't even see these guys play when they were in college.
Ryan Leaf says Troy. John Elway says Rusty. Rusty, Jake Plummer. I was going off of what I enjoyed. And
you went enjoyable, not best.
My favorite to watch. And Jake Plummer that season, that was just a fun team to watch. And Arizona State, for most of my life, had always sucked.
Teddy Bruschi, Steve Ettman. I mean, there's some great under-the-radar guys. Yeah.
Terrell Suggs at Arizona State.
So where are you emotionally about the Pac-12 shutting it down? Have you come to terms with it now, or is it
my morning is over?
I mean, I was wondering.
No, I think it's going to be different when we go to the college football season. That's when it's really going to hit me. Because really basketball in the Pac-12, sadly, has become kind of irrelevant. And so it's going to come down to Saturday nights, just how different is the look going to be at 9:30 when I loved watching a game in Corvallis or Pullman. And I think it is sad. I think there was a way you could have made this work. I think Larry Scott was one of the worst things that ever happened to the Pac-12. I will still stand by it. If they would have signed a deal with DirecTV back in the day, I think the Pac-12 would still be thriving.
Two more things in this segment involving college football after LT tells us about Hydra Live. Do you put any weight into the FPI, the Football Power Index from ESPN? It is updated.
No, because they had Mississippi State number 3 last year.
Yeah. Who the outlier could be in the top 10 after you tell us about Hydra Live.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. You can boost your immune system with our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety. You can boost your immune system and much more. Members rewarded with deep discounts. You get one free IV bag per month. Basically, recoup that IV membership in just one visit. So make sure you ask about memberships and make sure when you stop into Hydra Life Therapy, they're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, now Highway 119 in Greystone, also the Tuscaloosa location. For more information, hydralifetherapy.com. Make sure you mention the next round, 20% off any of their great services.
Florida eliminated Alabama in softball, so we're to the Final Four. Oklahoma and Florida at 11 a.m. just underway at Oklahoma City, except they've got more weather out there. First pitch coming up at 12:36 now for Oklahoma, Florida. Florida's got to beat Oklahoma twice now to jump into the championship series. Texas and Stanford tonight. Stanford has to beat Texas twice to jump to the championship series. Weather permitting 2 baseball games today. Oklahoma State and Florida, and defending national champ LSU against North Carolina to try to join Tennessee, Kentucky, A&M, and Georgia as SEC teams already in the Super Regionals coming up next week on the road to Omaha. All right. Football Power Index, ESPN. Stop me when we get to one that is out of whack a little bit.
Okay.
Top 5, it's not out of whack. Georgia, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama.
I feel Oregon's a touch high, but having them in the top 5 is not a problem for me. Having them number 2 feels like maybe we're a touch high on Oregon.
Like you feel better with them at 3 or 4 or
probably
5.
Back end of the top 5. Yeah. I'd feel better maybe if you put them where Alabama is.
Here is the one that I think will stick out to you.
Okay.
At number 9 is another SEC team not named Ole Miss, Missouri, or LSU. Who is that number 9 team?
Not Ole Miss, Missouri, or LSU.
Yeah, and those have been the ones that have been sort of eating up some.
So it's not Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri, or LSU.
Right. Number 9 in the FPI Power Rankings by ESPN going into the 2024 season.
If I were doing my power rankings, I am probably to Tennessee or Texas A&M by then.
It is
maybe
Tennessee.
Oklahoma.
Tennessee,
Okay.
number 9 in the FPI Power Ratings, about where you had Mississippi State last year in the preseason
I
FPI.
believe much more in Tennessee, sight unseen with Nico. You saw how short his Heisman odds are. If he's the real deal under Heupel, I mean, we saw how good Hendon Hooker was under Josh Heupel. Took a step back with Joe Milton. I don't know what the expectation really was outside of Joe Milton could throw a football 80 yards. We heard that all the time. Doesn't equate to winning a lot of football games. They still won 9 games last year. I think this could be the year that you're like, is Heupel an A-plus coach, or is he kind of a C-plus, B-minus? This could be the year people are like, damn, this Heupel guy can coach.
Yeah. Because the expectation to me isn't number 9 in the country for Tennessee. You?
I think there's a high ceiling, but also kind of.
It's not my expectation, but if Tennessee finished 9th, I wouldn't be stunned.
Yeah, but if they were 7-5, it wouldn't completely blow me away. But I could see them win 10
They're
games.
a bit of an unknown team to me.
But if we're sitting here at the end of the year, I mean, number 9 likely has you in the playoffs. If Tennessee's in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I'd be surprised by that.
I would be too. Missouri 11th, LSU 13th, Texas A&M 14th, Ole Miss 16th.
That's lower than most think, but a little more in line with what I feel for Ole Miss. I'm not as high on Ole Miss as most people.
Auburn 19th.
I mean,
I think that's about right.
If you finish 19th in the AP poll, you're probably
8 or 9
wins. Yeah, that'd be good for Auburn.
Florida 20th.
Oh, Billy Napier would take finishing 20th in the rankings and not coach a game.
That's 8-4. He goes 8-4 with that schedule.
Yeah, no, he'd take that and not coach a game.
And see, this is looking at your roster and all of that into effect, who talent you have on the roster. So Florida 20th.
Where's NC State?
I don't have the whole list. I can go.
All good. I was wondering. Notre Dame, NC State, a couple of teams that interest me a little bit. Even SMU.
I will go find it here in just a second. If you will, Brandon, if you'll talk just a little bit about the FPI, the Power Index there, and what we just discussed.
Yeah, it's the football power index there. Lance, I will tell you were interested about Notre Dame. Is that one of the ones you said there? Notre Dame is 7th behind Penn State. So your top: Georgia, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, Penn State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri. Your top 10.
Yeah.
Is that about where you thought Notre Dame would be? 7th. And when we look at their schedule again, it is a very favorable schedule for the Irish.
Michigan 12, Clemson 13, and some of those FPI numbers there. One more thing here. I'm going to give credit to the right guy here. On Reddit, his name is Third and King. Third and King. If I get this right, 28 of the 67 power teams have never had a winless season.
68?
28 of the 67 power conference teams have never had a winless season.
Well, that's hard to lose all 12 games.
I know.
Especially now.
So he has a list of the last time your team lost all their games. If you want to just see the rebuild that happened in Washington, to have them play
going to bring out Washington
for the national championship.
Who was the dude that was coach at Stanford and Notre Dame? Tyrone Willingham.
0-12.
2008, Washington 0-12. South Carolina 1999 0-11. This is not the complete list. It's just ones that popped to me.
That shows you the job Spurrier did.
Spurrier and Holtz. Holtz started the rebuild.
Yeah, but Holtz was also the guy that was 0.
Yeah,
I don't think they were on probation this year. I don't think these are games. I put an asterisk to remind me to bring it up that maybe it was NCAA mandated 0-11, but 1979 Florida was 0-11. And eventually Charlie Pell and Galen Hall turned that around in the 80s a little bit. Florida State in 1973 was 0-11, pre-Bowden.
Women's college there. I mean, they literally were going from an all-women's college to, bringing in some men so they could play football. So it was probably hard to win games.
Alabama in 1955. Here's Whitworth. 0-10. In 1950, Auburn was 0-10. Those were the last time some of those significant teams were winless.
Did Oklahoma ever go defeated under what was his name?
Bud Wilkerson?
No, John Blake.
John Blake?
I don't think they went winless.
No, but it was such a bad program.
Yeah, that would have stuck out. Because it's hard to go winless now because what do? You schedule. There's always one or two games on there that you cannot lose that are just unlosable by power
like
teams.
even Vanderbilt's got those games on their schedule this year.
I mean, as bad as John Blake was, he was 3-8, 4-8, 5-6. So it was, he never got close to being winless. But people do forget how bad that program was. I mean, that was mid-'90s. That was right before Bob Stoops took over. That program, they had the 1 year under Schnellenberger, which was like 500 year. And then John Blake was terrible. That was a bad program that Stoops took over and quickly turned it into a national power.
Go see if your favorite school is one of the 28 that's never, ever, ever gone winless in a season. Can't imagine that now, with Alabama and or Auburn.
Well, it's impossible because you schedule wins. Now, schedules moving forward, like if these big conferences, like I think they eventually will split off from the NCAA and do their own thing, I don't know what scheduling is going to look like then. Do they still schedule whatever that division is called, teams? Or is it all, is everybody playing just inside those 70 big conference teams? In that case, if that's what your schedule looks like, I think you could have a shot at some winless games. Right now, I don't know that you could.
One more thing before we get to trash in the next segment. Steve Cohen is the owner of the New York Mets, and the Mets suck this year. We'll talk to Buster again Thursday, maybe or maybe not, about how the Mets suck. But over the weekend, they retired Darryl Strawberry's jersey number. My question to you guys first is, and by the way, they turned the apple, the home run apple, into a strawberry for the
that's
ceremony.
Pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But Darryl Strawberry, who just had a heart attack, he's 62 years old, and had to travel with a defib machine just to be able to go to the ceremony at Citi. 62 years old. How did it take so long to retire Darryl Strawberry's number? He is the franchise's all-time home run leader.
I remember when he came to the Dodgers in 1990, and I remember staying up late, and, this was before extra innings, and anytime they would play Atlanta or the Cubs on GN or TBS, I would, I was so excited about watching his at-bats.
Yeah.
It was just something about it.
I remember as a kid, most of you around here got WGN, so you watched the Cubs. For some reason, in Anniston, we got
it too.
We got WWOR out of Secaucus, New Jersey, which carried all the Mets games. But we did not get WGN. So I never got to see Harry Carey and the Cubs. We did not get it. We'd get TBS with the Braves and WOR with the Mets. And I watched a lot of Mets games back then. And because they were the best, one of the best teams in baseball, they were fun to watch. And I kind of fell in love with that team as a little kid, with Hernandez at first, Wally Backman at second, Strawberry in the outfield, Gary Carter behind the plate. Who was the Mookie Wilson batting leadoff for him? I mean, Ray Knight on the hot corner. That was a fun team to watch.
It's crazy they only won that one championship.
It really is.
21-year-old debut at age 21 in 1983. 8 years with the Mets. He averaged 32 home runs a season. 252 is his total as a Met, and he's the all-time franchise leader. Since he took over the franchise, Steve Cohen, when he took over, there were only 4 jerseys retired, and how one of these was ahead of Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden. Remember, we talked about Doc Gooden earlier this year getting his jersey retired. How was Mike Piazza's jersey retired before Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden?
Image.
Yeah.
Strawberry and Gooden had cocaine problems, and people are still, so sensitive to controversial things. Piazza's most controversial thing was he threw his half bat back at
Roger Clemens.
Clemens threw it at him.
Yeah, Clemens threw it at him, and they squared off.
Gil Hodges, Mike Piazza, Casey Stengel, I think the first manager for the Mets, and Tom Seaver, who pitched the Mets to the '69 World Series, were the only 4 jerseys retired when Steve Cohen bought the franchise.
No Ed Kranepool?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think all 4 of those guys are white, by the way. But those are the only 4 Mets that had their jerseys retired. Since Cohen has taken over this year, he's gone Gooden and Strawberry. Keith Hernandez, he's retired his jersey, who is fantastic. Was he on that team you watched as well?
Oh, heck yeah. The mid-'80s, yeah.
Jerry Kuzman, who was part of the Amazing Mets in 1969. Willie Mays, who I think
he finished his
was
career
there in
there, right?
72 when
Yeah.
they made it to the World Series and lost to the Orioles, I
Is that
think.
vintage? So they're going to retire Willie Mays' jersey. I mean, he didn't play there very long.
He didn't, but, I mean,
But
he
he's
did
Willie
play
Mays,
there, yeah. The Gooden and Strawberry are the ones that he has retired now. Nolan Ryan, I think, was on that 69 Mets.
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, so that could be the next one. He goes back and corrects and tries to retire there. So many great players, and they're just now getting around to retiring them. Just those first 4. Hodges, Piazza, Stengel, and Seaver had their jerseys are retired in New York until the new guy is now taking over and trying to correct a little history there. Trash coming up on the other side this hour, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Go by and see Sterling. Lunch is open, dinner tonight. And also for your trips to the lake or the beach, stop by and see Sterling just off the I-65 exit in Alabaster, going or coming to the beach, or take a big to-go order to the lake. And don't worry about cooking when you get there. That's our friends at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Our mental health minute before trash in a second, brought to you by JohnstonRVCenter.com. If you are part of is the Braves blackout still continuing? You Braves fans, is it hard for you guys to still see the game?
EG and I went to the delivery of our gear down in Macon, or down in Bon Air, Georgia, just south of Macon. And I had to pick EG up in Atlanta. She had a wedding this weekend, so she was dropping her car in Atlanta. And as we're driving through Atlanta, we drove past the old Turner Field right there, and she was telling me, I did not realize this, the vast majority of Atlanta cable customers are Comcast, who's part of the blackout there. She was telling me the percentage of people in Atlanta, just residents of Atlanta, that had no access to Braves games. And I don't want to repeat the number because it was such an insane number that she had read. Can you imagine that in your own market? Like, blackouts normally affect outside the market.
Right.
Or it feels like. But in your own market, that percentage that can't even watch your team?
Crazy.
It's insane.
Atlanta and Boston tomorrow night, day off for the Braves up at Fenway. 6.5 games back as the day starts. The team you're chasing, the Phillies, you can actually watch them if you have the MLB Network today. Milwaukee and Philadelphia, 2 division leaders, going at 5:40 on MLB Network. And if you have FS1, you can watch San Francisco and Arizona tonight. So 2 baseball games, not your favorite teams, that you can watch a little bit later on today in baseball. By the way, Tampa Bay, the Rays, are a little closer to building a new baseball-only stadium down in Tampa. The announcement 5 days ago with the newest renderings, the best renderings yet for a stadium back downtown.
Oh, that looks good right there.
I wonder if that's in Tampa, not St. Pete.
No, it's St. Pete was the one I read. I don't know if those are the same renderings. They look like they are.
Yeah, I don't want to keep it in St. Pete. I'd rather come back to downtown Tampa. But
yeah, I mean, St. Pete's not even convenient to Tampa. Like, if you've ever been, and if you stay in Tampa and then you take that bridge over.
It's one bridge. And if there's a wreck.
The last time I went,
That's
it was
good looking right there.
Probably
I like that
2007, 2008, and it was a $70 cab from downtown Tampa to Tropicana.
30,000 seat stadium. They called it, what did I tell you, baseball's most intimate setting? Are they going to light candles at the table?
Yeah.
What do they do it?
Dim the lights for the game. Tell us about Johnston RV Center and our mental health minute today, LT.
So we kind of transitioned from Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in May to June is PTSD month. A lot of people struggling from that out there. Look, if you're feeling depressed, sad, feeling worthless, hopeless about the future, feeling a lot of guilt or self-worth, low self-worth, thoughts of death or suicide, difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, you need to reach out, start the conversation with someone close to you, start a conversation with a doctor. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. According to the report, mental health in America, men appear to suffer with mental health issues like anxiety, depression, even substance abuse at rates similar to that of women, but less than half of the men will seek treatment. This has got to stop. If you're suffering out there, you're not alone. You can get help. I promise you. June is part of our Mental Health Medical Minute, and it is brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV.
Yeah, Nick and the gang there at Johnston RV, we appreciate them supporting that. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 Indicator is where you find them. And listen, they have repriced everything on both of those lots. So confident, in fact, in their pricing. They will guarantee you the lowest price nationwide. You bring them a price on a comparable RV from anywhere in America, and they'll beat it right there at Johnston RV Center. Also, they appreciate the military the way we do on this show. Just a very small way of saying thank you. They give you a great military discount, you veterans and active duty. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Really surprised this guy doesn't already have a scholarship, but he's got one now. Let's go inside the meeting room in Austin, Texas. Here's Steve Sarkisian.
The work ethic, they go through the same grind the soft scholarship guys go on all summer long. So when we can reward those guys, man, there's nothing better. Bert Auburn, you're on scholarship.
Bert Auburn, the kicker, you're on scholarship for this upcoming year. You're a little surprised that he's been kicking a while.
Well, boy, look at his hair, too. That surprises me, too.
Yeah, his hair is amazing. He would have been on scholarship a lot longer if he would have hit that game winner against Alabama.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I understand that. I
thought they were going to go, Arch Manning, you're on. Oh, wait a minute. Arch already on scholarship. No, I didn't know Bert Auburn was not on scholarship. I didn't know he was a walk-on kicker.
He's got one now this year. He made a little NIL money there. That 1 year with the Alabama kicker.
Yeah, with Reichard, yeah.
Because they did a little...
they did some commercial. I don't think I ever saw the
PSA commercial that they did together. kick COVID, I think, maybe.
They did that, and then I thought they did an investment firm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Kick poverty or something. Let's do trash. Hit the big button, rock stars. Brought to you by Mortgage Right. Boom.
Another time I was watching a TikTok about Beyonce and someone in the comments said, when's her birthday? Google it. Google it. Google is free. Google it. What the asking us for? By the time someone responded to you, you could have been Googled it.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right, they are here to help. They are veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can call their Birmingham Highway 280 office, 205-900-7200. Go online, mortgageright.com/TNR, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Mary, by the way, is correct. Goldman Sachs commercial. Thank you, Mary. One of our great female listeners jumping in with the correct answer.
I don't even know that if I knew whether or not Madonna was touring. Her North America tour is almost over. And we got a little news out of it. One Madonna fan did not take too kindly to many of the choices made during the celebration tour. Plaintiff Justin Lapellis recently filed a class action lawsuit against the pop star on behalf of himself and the concert goers who were present at her May 7th show in Inglewood, California. I'm assuming at the Forum. More specifically, he is accusing Madonna and Live Nation of breach of contract, negligent misrepresentation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false advertising, and unfair competition. Now, his main complaints are that the concert started over 90 minutes late.
That's the second lawsuit because they said her average start time, show's always at 8, average start from Madonna is like 10:45 or 11.
Okay, but don't you know that going in?
Well, now you do, but I'm saying like they don't say like, hey, it starts at 8, but she ain't going to come on stage.
Yeah, but I mean, if I buy a concert ticket, if you buy a concert ticket for a concert that starts at 8, what is your tolerance?
I'm believing they're going to start the main act if there's only one opener at 9:30.
Yeah, it's kind of 9:30 or 10 would be my expectation.
I was going to say 2 hours, and there's going to be a couple undercards.
Yeah, and there's going to be some time between them, and they're going to reset the stage.
Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Madonna just because she's so iconic.
I didn't know she had an eye injury.
Now, here's the thing. If I went to a Madonna concert,
look it up.
I would be prepared for absolutely anything that happened.
Absolutely. Anything under the sun, yep.
So he claims that Madonna demanded to shut off the air conditioning, later told fans to take off their clothes when they complained the heat was making them physically ill.
Oh, wow.
Lapellis also extremely offended by the lewd sexual acts performed on stage. Said there should have been a disclaimer of fans beforehand. He believes that Madonna purposely did this to ticket purchasers and had this sexual nature of the celebration tour. He said that, quote, attendees were forced to watch topless women on stage simulating sex acts.
Forced to watch that.
He's only asking for a refund for his tickets, which I think he'll get. But then he wants Madonna to give up her profit she made for the tour.
Yeah, not happening right
for
there.
the tour of the show.
The tour. I want the whole tour.
But wait, he's going to go see Madonna and does not expect any sexual lewdness?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
that's all I would expect.
Me too. And by the way, she's a child of the 80s, right? She was very popular in the 80s. Turning off the heat, trying to get people to take the clothes off was dating move number 1 back in the 80s.
Yeah. Rockstar, they have those doors locked. You couldn't leave.
No, well, I got to do a lawsuit. I paid for the ticket. I'm going to watch everything so I can write everything
forced to
down.
watch it. Actually, you could have walked right out the door.
Yeah, he doesn't get his money back.
Yeah.
Now, this...
If I'm on the jury.
Next story is fascinating. If, in fact, this actually comes to fruition, the world's first human trial of a drug that can regenerate teeth will begin in a few months, less than a year from news of its success in animals. Now, this paves the way for the medicine to be commercially available as early as 2030.
Okay, just the graphic... That looks painful. I'm sure that's just a stock photo. Right?
Anything to do
no,
with
that's
teeth.
an actual tooth.
Your teeth have nerves, you know.
Yeah. I had to have some work this past year. It's always painful when you're dealing with the teeth.
That's right.
God, I saw something on TikTok last night. It's funny you brought this up. It was some kind of she chewed something. I want to say it was from
rock,
bamboo, or a tree, and she chewed it so much that her cavities went away. She was going to have to get 2 fillings, and she didn't want to get fillings, so she did a little research, and she chewed this substance. I want to think it was from the...
Doesn't sound painful at all.
Some kind of tree, the gum from some kind of tree, and whatever in it regenerated It got rid of
Eucalyptus?
rid of the enzymes. Maybe I saved it in my TikTok. I'll look.
Look at your view history. It'll be in
This
your view
trial,
history.
which will take place at Kyoto University Hospital from September to August of 2025, they'll treat 30 males between the age of 30 and 64 who are missing at least one molar. Now, the IV treatment will be tested for its efficiency on human teeth after it successfully grew new teeth in ferrets and mouse models.
It worked in ferrets, guys.
With no significant side effects. No significant.
Yeah. There might be some side effects.
But what's crazy is
I
they
got a
say
tooth.
that
Wow.
the reason they say ferrets and mice is because we have the same kind of teeth structure.
As ferrets?
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
How's a ferret sound?
Hey, ferret mouth, come here.
Tuesday, May 28th, Cumberland County Dispatch received a call of a robbery from a Waffle House, prompting a response from the Crossville Police Department. Now, according to the police department, when officers arrived, discovered a man armed with a folding knife assaulting two employees. The man reportedly ran off with $388 in cash towards the wooded area behind a Marathon gas station. Police say they received a call from the Red Roof Inn saying the man was possibly hiding in the building. After inspecting the hotel, police reported finding the man hiding in the attic of a hotel, which he accessed using a utility room door. Police also reported that the man was found. He began throwing money at officers, refusing to comply with the officers on the scene. Officers responded by using less lethal means such as pepper spray, beanbags, and a taser to remove the man from the attic. According to the police, the incident ended with the man falling through the ceiling of 3 separate hotel rooms, then being taken into custody. I am going to assume they threw him through 3 different...
Yeah.
That cannot happen.
Yeah.
At a hotel. I don't understand. That's something it's like a comic book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he fell through the ceiling...
If I throw you right now as hard as I can, you're not going to go through 3 floors.
No, because you got to go through the floor.
Yes.
I think it was
floor,
3 different rooms. I don't know how this worked.
Yeah,
unless they throw him off the balcony. I just don't know. That's why I don't believe he went through 3. And he's standing up. He looks fine.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he would be a load to...
Well, I tell you what.
How to deter me through money at him.
He had $388 to do it with.
Knocking over a Waffle House, that's a roll of the dice. I mean, I am...
Well, I would just be concerned that if it's much like the movie Boogie Nights, where they go knock off the donut shop, and Don Cheadle is in there with his soon-to-be pregnant wife, and you've got a guy reading Soldier of Fortune who pulls out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
44 and blows the dude away.
Some of this is depending on where I am geographically. But Waffle House, pretty high percentage of people packing, I would imagine.
Yeah, I agree. TV viewers are aging. These shows bring in the oldest audiences. These numbers are amazing. Now, the median age for a network primetime viewer long has been above 50 years old, but this year comes in at 64.6 years for the 5 leading English broadcast networks. Cable, much the same.
So you're saying that the average viewer of network TVs are 64 years of age?
Yes. They're all retired. 64.6, yeah.
Wow.
Median viewer age is 56 when you look at networks like Bravo, while the big 3 news channels' average viewer is about 69 years old. Fox has the lowest median age, 58.1 of the 5 networks. Now, thanks in part, they've got a lot of animation. On the other end of the spectrum, CBS is Blue Bloods. You know what the median viewer of Blue Bloods is?
Isn't that Tom Selleck?
I see it on the screen.
Yeah. And Donnie Wahlberg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tom Selleck.
But actually, and I hit that again. The lead is actually older than this because I think Tom Selleck's like 77.
Yeah.
But the average viewer is 73 years old. Not surprising, CBS has the oldest primetime audience, median age of 67.8. 2+ years older than ABC at 65.5, NBC 64.9, and CW is at 65.2, which is really amazing when you think about their programming. ABC's average doesn't include its Monday Night Football telecast, which would probably bring this down.
I don't know why they didn't do that.
But you look at NBA prime time, Brown, and Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football is 55.2, the youngest median age viewers of shows. I mean, Sunday Night Football and NBA prime time are 55 and 57 years old.
I'm going to say Monday Night Football is about right there, probably. It's about the same. You know what this is for those networks? A problem. That is a big problem for those networks.
That is a demographic that typically doesn't spend money.
And a demographic that
doesn't live 20 more years.
And their
close to the
solution,
grave.
And their solution, the Golden Bachelor.
Well, I mean, they're just leaning into it now, aren't they?
Well, they're trying to embrace it, but what else can you do?
I don't think you can really do anything.
I just don't know that it's ever going to turn. I mean, do you think it's ever going to turn?
No. Younger generation is wired the way they're wired, and this is just not part of it.
I mean, you'll still go for live sports, but how often do you go to the networks outside of live sports?
No, but that's what was surprising me, that the median age for the NBA prime time is 57.
Yeah. Well, even it's 12 years younger. I mean, that's a pretty significant.
I saw the first season of All-American on the CW.
I saw where they filmed that out in L.A.
Yeah, look, it was an entertaining show.
It was on Netflix, right? And it moved over to CW.
But 53.8. It's basically Friday Night Lights on the West Coast.
Well, what surprised me is Big Brother's 58. I mean, that's a bunch of young people.
Yeah, but they started watching it when they were 30s.
I guess so.
It's 25 years.
Yeah, that's true. Good
no,
point.
but I was going to tell you guys, guess who turned me on to All-American? J.L. Shea, who I think is 86 now.
Are you kidding me? I was going to say Jack.
Nope.
I went the other way.
J.L. Shea was like, you've got to watch All-American.
Well, my grandmother would watch some stuff because she didn't want to change the channel. She didn't have to get up. Back in those days, you had to get them to turn the channel. And sometimes
she had her needle nose pliers.
Yeah.
Let's do VHF today.
Rarely can I join a group of viewers or listeners or anything and actually bring the age down a little bit, but I can watch network TV and make them look younger.
If you watch Blue Bloods, you're a teenager, basically.
Yeah. Hey, young blood, welcome to Blue Bloods. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Really, what are the sponsors on Blue Bloods when you're averaging 73-year-olds?
That's a great question.
Dentures, diapers.
Geritol.
Have you struggled with erectile dysfunction today?
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, I think they're past that. Our friends and Mortgage Right here to help, whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran. Their great service and low rates make the process so easy. Whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right is one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call them, 205-900-7200 or NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
We always talk, when we're talking basketball, about how there are amazing places you can go and make money. Did you know Taiwan had a professional basketball league?
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
I didn't know it, but
our bandwagon moment of the day: DeMarcus Cousins just finished with the Finals MVP, scoring 24 points and 24 rebounds as his team won the Taiwanese basketball championship.
You know what this tells me? DeMarcus was not a saver. He made a lot of money in the NBA.
Did he not? He's playing at Taiwan.
Name of his team? The Taiwan Beer Leopards.
The Beer Leopards?
The Beer Leopards.
Ooh, I like that. We got a T-shirt?
I did not see a T-shirt.
Sir, can you Google the Taiwan Beer Leopards? Do we have his salary? Do you know?
I did not look at his salary. I just saw that he was the MVP. Saw a picture. He looked like he was about half a body taller than everyone else in the league.
I would imagine so. I would imagine DeMarcus gets every rebound.
And he might love basketball, but I don't think he loves it as much to make $200,000 in Taiwan, right?
I don't know. Wow, the Beer Leopards have a really bad logo.
It is bad.
No, they've blocked 21,541 ads for us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, the logo needs to be a lot better than that.
Yeah, Beer Leopard's not a great logo. Boy, it is busy.
Not even holding a beer.
Very arena league.
Yeah. Super busy logo.
Yep.
Sinnopac Bank, though. That's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to bank when I'm there.
Tell us about our friends at Bandwagon. We'll keep it local with Bandwagon Sports, and they have great logos for high schools like Mountain Brook, Hope Mountain, Vestavia,
they could do a
Homewood.
Beer Leopards, I'm sure, if you wanted to have a bad logo. Cahaba Heights in Edgewood, the best place in sporting goods, apparel, and more is Bandwagon. Top of the line equipment, top of the line clothing brands. They got you ready to play like an MVP and look like one too. They got you ready for the beach. Brands like Chubby's, Bird Dogs, Task, and Southern Tide. Everything you need for that great summer ahead. Cahaba Heights and Edgewood locations wide open today in the Birmingham area. Next round, jump on the bandwagon, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Final segment of the show today, being brought to you by our friend Dr. B, who made sure LT's hair didn't have a final chapter, that it lasted longer and longer and longer.
Well played, Dunaway. He is now working on Ryan Brown. Look, I'm just doing, I'm maintaining now. I'm completely fine with what I've got. I just want to keep this. So I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times, 30 minutes each time a week on the couch. That is it. Dr. B, for more than 20 years, women and men have turned to him for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316, t3hair.net for more information. Again, that non-invasive treatment, I'm doing it 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. Brown is doing it right now. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Call today, 205-319-0316, and tell them the Next Round sent you.
Uncorked with Taylor Korn, new episodes, reaction to her life nonstop. Make sure you're following her and subscribing to Uncorked on our YouTube channel. New episodes drop all the time. Taylor Korn reacts to life and her passion of sports, all at Uncorked. A new Pennant Grace coming out with Emily Grace and Ush Josh as they react to the Braves season. Baseball podcast there for you every week. Melton and Lunsford with a new pop culture podcast, The Meltdown, live at 2 o'clock Central today. They're working on that. We start a massive trivia tournament on Wednesday where Brown and I are being forced to be teammates.
That is true.
I'm teammates with our buddy Brian Pavlik.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel good about the run
Wednesday. Do we know?
I don't know, but that's a tough team to beat because he's really good and so are you.
What would you say is your wheelhouse?
My wheelhouse is not trivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
That's pretty good.
Actually in the trivia category.
I can't believe how many questions they have, though. Pick a number 0 through 500.
I know. Roll damn pods. I believe that's fake, by the way. I don't think he has 500 questions. I think he has questions set up, and you can say
I don't think
276, and he's going to go right there.
When he does a little...
You don't think Dunaway's got anything on the paper? Yeah.
I think it's blank. I think it's all blank.
Roll Tide pods available for you. Don't forget Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker with Elephant in the Room, and War Damn pods featuring Zach Blackerby and Brad Law. All that at Disrupt the Media. Disrupt the Media. Like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. On this piece, go ahead.
I was just saying, did we ever get the Comic-Con?
Did we ever get the Comic-Con video in? Not yet. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Knock it out tomorrow. Last thing here. Oilers and Panthers.
What?
Oilers and
I
Panthers.
watched the end of that Oilers-Stars game last night. I told you that. I hadn't watched any hockey all year. But I got home from the zone, and there was nothing on TV. And I'm like, I'll watch the end of this. And it was a one-goal game, and Dallas pulled their goalie like 3 minutes to go. And it was, Lance, it was a barrage on the Edmonton goalie.
And you just wonder, like, Flames and Canucks and Maple Leafs fans, they've never liked the Edmonton Oilers, especially when they had that dynasty rolling with Messier and Gretzky, Grand Fuhrer. You wonder if they're pulling for them, though, just representing the country.
Yeah.
1993 is the last time a Canadian franchise won the Stanley Cup. 34 years ago, last time the Oilers won one, they were in a championship in 2006. It'll be the furthest distance between arenas in NHL history for a championship Stanley Cup. 2,541 miles, an 8-hour charter flight from Miami to Edmonton, back and forth. And jet lag, they say, could actually be a factor in the game.
I'm sure. I mean, that is a haul. The good news is they're flying direct. Our friend Todd Furman was on last week. He said this price, series price, if Florida and Edmonton, if that is the matchup, probably minus 130. He was almost dead on. Florida minus 125, getting back plus 105 right now with the Oilers.
But they don't play until Saturday, much like the NBA taking a long time off. It's the first chance to see Connor McDavid on this kind of stage. He is a superstar that a lot of Americans have not seen. The thing I wanted to leave you with, though, because the Rangers got eliminated, the New York Rangers. Teams that play professional sports with the New York name now have gone 100 of their seasons without winning a championship. Not 100 years, but 100 of their seasons, like Yankees and Mets, Rangers and Islanders, and Knicks, all
Jets
Nets,
and Giants.
Jets and Giants.
Yeah.
That's still amazing.
That is
So
a long,
100 seasons now
combined,
for New York franchises not to win their championship.
Well, just because I would say the Giants and the Yankees had such great runs that one of those two would be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't even know who should be most ashamed in this. I guess the Yankees.
Well, it's been, has it been since Jeter that they've won it?
Yeah, but the way they spend and the resources they have.
No, they won one with A-Rod, did they not? Yeah.
Without Jeter?
Yeah. Well, no, Jeter was part of it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. Since Jeter was
But
on the team.
But the way they spend and the resources they have for them to be part of this it's got to be the most embarrassing.
Yeah, I would say, the Yankees, I would have the Cowboys the most embarrassing franchise for
how long it's been.
How long it's been. But number 2 would be the Yankees. San Francisco probably would be number 3.
But in New York, Yankees the most embarrassing. Who would be second?
Oh, the Jets. Just because they haven't.
I don't know. I don't expect it out of the Jets. I would be more embarrassed about the Giants.
You don't expect it out of the Jets, but it's such a big market. They've got such a big fan base.
Really, once you get past that, what have the Knicks done? When's their last championship? Was it
73.
Walt Frazier?
Yeah, I guess.
It was.
And they lost when Jordan was out of the game. They lost to the Rockets, right?
Yeah, that was 94.
And the only reason they were there was Jordan was trying to play baseball. The Rangers is probably it. I just don't watch enough hockey to know, but I think the Rangers, that's such a
I guess they won
franchise.
with Messier.
But that was like 94, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they won with Messier. That's been a while.
The Mets, how many times do we get told, though, that
this is the Mets here?
Oh, the Mets pitching staff. Oh, they've got 5 great arms.
It wasn't forever ago when they played the Royals in a World Series where they were favored in that World Series.
Yeah. And then they had the Subway Series that we just referenced earlier when Clemens and Piazza squared off. That was in the Subway Series, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 2009.
Yeah, so, I say it hadn't been that long. That is a long time ago. It's a long time ago.
It's a long time for the Yankees.
Yeah. Nets, when they got KD and Kyrie was on that team, right?
Yeah, but they're Brooklyn now, so I don't guess they fall into this category.
They count.
Yeah. Do they count? Okay.
And New Jersey in 2000, they played
Devils?
for one.
I don't think they count the Devils. I didn't see the Devils in here because they did Islanders, Rangers. They may have included the Devils. I don't know. But 100 seasons is a lot of heartbreak for New York fans.
Yeah, that really is. And I'll tell you what makes it worse is how good some of those Boston franchises have been in that time. The Patriots have been the dominant football for a lot of that.
Bruins
the Celtics have been good. The Bruins have been good. The Red Sox have won some championships. That's probably got to hurt the most is that in a lot of ways, not a lot of ways, 100% Boston has become a better sports city than New York.
Simone Biles wins the U.S. Nationals all around. She's going back to her 3rd Olympics. You talk about mental health all the time. She got the whirlies at one point and could not compete in her last Olympics, and she was very depressed after that. She has battled back out of that, and now she is back on top of her sport and going to a third Olympics. That is rare for a gymnast.
Yeah, we're going to be rolling out 4 different podcasts on mental health and mental awareness, and one of them is mental health in sports. And so really looking forward to that. But, yeah, it is amazing, like, for her to go back and forth in headspace and still be able to dominate and be that elite. Like, I saw her fall yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it on SportsCenter, but it wasn't on the beam. Might have been on the
vault.
Might have been on the vault. But she did not stick the landing. She fell backwards, and she still dominated yesterday.
So you're saying she had like equilibrium issues?
She did. I think it was in Beijing that happened.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't compete, which everyone was like, well, that's what a dark moment in her career.
Well, and people were like criticizing her.
How can she not go out for her team and battle through it? Well, if you're spinning through the air and you don't know where
where the ground
bottom is,
yeah,
right?
difficult. Do you want your pilot flying you? Is he tapping out on the team?
I would have taken the day off, no doubt.
But she's battled through that and has come back. So, all right, softball and baseball continuing today as we get closer and closer to SEC Media Days. LT was at Comic-Con. We'll get that up on our social media platforms and give you a taste of that coming up. But we're about to drop Kristen Sabin, that interview here at the top of the hour, in a last call version with LT, his really long, in-depth conversations with people. And just for the people that will, here in a few seconds, go and watch your interview with Kristen, your takeaway. Have you ever been in a room with her before? Have you ever had an extended conversation?
Her and I had gone back and forth with some DMs. I had never met her outside of Regions this year, and that's when she apologized. She went through a situation where I'm sure people know about it. We really didn't get into that. I asked her before, I want you to be comfortable with this, and she was pretty much comfortable with everything. But there's some interesting things, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I thought she was very laid back, very open, and seemed like a really cool person.
Yeah. So Kristen Sabin with LT, part of the last call, dropping here. First place it'll drop is YouTube, right, Forrester? On our YouTube channel, right where you're watching this right now. If you're picking this up on a different platform, if it's on Instagram, Facebook, or X, Twitter, go over to our YouTube channel. If you're new there, like and subscribe and follow us there. If you're listening to us, always check out our video platform where you can actually see the show and a lot of other great content, including the Kristen Sabin interview right now on the YouTube channel. That's our show today. 82 days away from football. This is the next round. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.